All right, and welcome everybody to Bones Petty Squabble. No. Welcome to Petty Squabble's Monster Hunter Group B, episode number 9. We're already 9 episodes into this stuff. It's a lot. So,
Team B stands for Bones.
if we ever make it past 50 episodes, it'll be my longest running game.
Are you taking us individually or just adding us all together? Like,
No, that's 9 for each
9.
group.
Yeah, so that's 18 episodes.
It doesn't count. No, it's per group. It does not count.
And you could theoretically count every hunt before this that we've done.
No, it doesn't count. Now we're story camping. That was just Monster of the Week with extras.
Oh, okay.
It's just the canon, the backstory that's been, going on for a long time. So,
People.
exactly. So, as a quick recap as to what is going on with this group, you had recently arrived in Burna as of the last episode and spoke to the guild manager, who is also the director of the Y Academy, about tracking down 3 elder dragons, the Valstrax, the Tiestra, and the Kushala Deora, and decided you were informed that there was a Valstrax up in the mountains north of Burna, but were cautioned to take care as it is quite a powerful elder dragon, much more so than the others that you are tasked to hunt down, and had decided, due to that, to come back to it last. So with that in mind, you guys spent some time trying to decide which one you're going to hunt, the Kushala or the Tiestra, and chose the Tiestra. Though there is not a lot of information currently in at the director's hands, she did suggest going to the chief researcher, who is currently awaiting the arrival of the Soratorium, which is a skyship that is currently going to be docking at in Burna shortly. So we can either, if you guys want, we can kind of just fast forward to that point, unless there's anything else you wanted to do in town or roleplay between yourselves or talk about and whatnot before we do that.
I actually do have a question because of fucking roll 20. So I have 9 D12 hit dice, and I should have 1 D10 for the paladin class. How do I have that?
I think when you
varied?
click on your hit dice, I think it gives you an option to choose.
In the settings, you can actually toggle a setting to sort your hit dice by class.
Okay,
It's
cool.
there somewhere.
All right. I will find it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the right category.
Right category, cool.
Of course, I pulled up Azrar's. I didn't even pull up the right one. That's funny.
Yeah, that was.
Boned.
But it's like track hit dice by class.
I found it. I'll turn it on for you.
Okay, thank you.
Boop. There we go.
Boop, boop.
I don't like how that looks, so it makes me angry.
I don't either, but you know.
Angry.
If you click on it, it does tell you like.
Well, it shows
way,
D10,
but-
1 available, 1 max, D12s, 9 available, 9 max.
Yeah.
It's so different than what I've seen for the last forever. And that's the
I don't like it. Multi-classing was a mistake.
Curse you, Maisie!
My barbarian brain doesn't know what to do.
Smite.
I can't yet. I think that's either second or third level paladin.
Yeah.
It's second.
Fuck. I was thinking of going barbarian next level to get some nice upgrades to my subclass.
I mean, you could do that, and then you could wait to get Paladin next. So, with that, is there any other RP questions, things you want to do before we end up like just kind of fast track into the Soratorium arriving?
I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I have it.
I'm Gucci. Rage damage is +3. Do I have that in there? Is my rage okay, it is.
That's who you're looking for. You're looking for Himmel. Maybe. We'll figure it out. So, as we then fast forward to a location up near the Y Academy actual structure, which is towering above on like a Pride Rock-like area above the village of Burna, is when we see the Soratorium off in the distance, slowly traveling in towards a docking area near the Y Academy. And as you do, the wind starts to pick up from Soratorium coming in. It is a sight to behold. Soratorium. actually get the thing here. Looks kind of like, I would say, your standard like Final Fantasy-esque. No, not even Final Fantasy-esque. It looks more like a pirate ship or a dragon ship that has been converted in a few different ways with a blimp as its actual device used to give it lift. It is got multiple different rows of armor using the tusks and other bones of large monsters, in addition to the iron chains and other metal that it has around its upper deck. And then you have a large, it's not necessarily like, you know, like on a air balloon, they have like the pull for the flames. In this case, it's like a large bonfire, like Olympic-sized bonfire that is used to push the heat into the balloon itself. And as it comes roaring in to the dock, you all kind of brace yourself for the immenseness that you see. And it actually lands with barely a nudge. Ropes are thrown down, tied off by guild workers, as you start to see a ladder descend down from the side of it onto a platform where you start to begin to see members of the crew send and go about their business off and somewhere into Burna and the Y Academy itself. As you're standing there, next to you walks up the chief researcher, who is also kind of just looking at the ship and just kind of goes, "It's something, isn't it?"
Yes, it is. A marvel of engineering for what we can accomplish.
I agree. It's one of the great things we found searching some ancient ruins. The plans, I mean, of course.
Okay.
How I wish I could have been there.
Maybe next time, all set. It's good to see you. He kind of like holds his hand out to shake your hand.
Yeah, no, go ahead and grip. And good to see you as well, Chief Researcher.
Field study's been going well for you?
Unfortunately, I have not been able to delve quite deep into my own studies at the moment. Other things have preoccupied me, but hopefully I will find something along the way. If not, end whatever this conflict is soon, so that I may return to my personal studies.
Good to hear. Oh, I have some people to meet. If you need to talk, we'll meet up here shortly. As you start to see a couple different, like the last few come off the Soratorium, minus a few workers that are kind of, deflating the balloon, setting it for, landing and prep, so prevent any kind of damage. So, as you see stepping off, I really wish my pictures would have stayed in. Damn, Roll20 hates me. Now I have to look it up. So the first person you see that comes stepping or climbing down the ladder is actually you would almost mistaken for a teenager. It is a young man. He has on the standard Y Academy like coat, which has like the white ivory with the teal accents on both the edge of his sleeves and trailing at the end of the trench coat itself. He has on like a graduate cap almost looking thing that's also that same teal color with a red string going down the side of it, along with a red ascot. And you would recognize him as Himmel, who is what he likes to call himself is a Wyventurer. He is not a hunter per se. He's just a researcher that you would know, at least all set, that he aspires towards the Royal Scriveners, which are the ones who do most research on Elder Dragons. So he's climbing down right now, and just that's who the chief researcher is walking up to. Followed behind him is Lucy, who is the guild receptionist. She has on very similar garb as Veza did, which is kind of a green safari-like outfit with a soft cap, which is like what Air Force pilots wear, is like a fancier uniform with the guild crest on one side and the Y Academy on the other. And she's falling behind with a bunch of books in hand as she's trying to climb down with one arm down the ladder. Followed by a feline, actually, in this case. It is, you would know her as Mrs. Meowidall. She literally takes her name to heart, as takes the role of one teaching students more often than not. She is a research assistant though, and her goal is really to learn everything she can about the ancient civilization and the creatures that inhabit the world. So, and she wears a same kind of scholarly like uniform as Himmel does, just it's not as fancy. So, you see them there, the chief researcher's talking to the three of them. They're kind of laughing and having a joyous time as you're all just kind of taking everything in. You guys wait to see if they come towards you? Do you bring yourself towards them? What is the goal here?
I would probably, as they're sort of making note, and I see that the chief researcher is making his rounds to each of these individual people, I'd probably just be speaking aloud my recollections of these people who are my compadres, just so that they have a bearing on what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. And just
Padre.
that one is Hima, the one with the books in her arms and trying to get down is Lucy, and then there is Mrs. Miauto, giving pertinent information as I'm going along.
Okay. So are you, and then you sit back and wait for them to finish their conversations before moving forward? Do you just kind of, present yourself close enough to be like, hey, I need to speak to you, but I'm not being rude. I'm just being proper.
He did make note that he'll be back.
Okay.
Once he's done doing a meet and greet, so I'll just stay where I'm at.
It seems rude to insert ourselves into that meet and greet.
Okay.
So.
Erus is very out of his comfort zone, so he's just kind of
New people.
Following the lead.
Other people do, yeah. Like, he's okay at social things when he knows people. One with just how official everyone is, and there's the fact that they're new. He's like, cool. Taking a step back, just chilling.
Cool.
Azrar, what are you doing? Are you scoping the place for goods?
I mean, I'm not gonna be a fucking petty thief.
I was just more making a joke.
I will. I'll steal the clothes off their back.
No, I'm probably just gonna be, standing still, like, gonna have my arms behind my back, like, just, deferring to the others. Like, I'll let Allset take the lead. I'm not gonna go out and do anything that might, embarrass him or like ruin his standing with them.
Makes sense. Okay, and I guess as that happens, you sit there probably for a minute or two. It's not super long time. And at that point, the chief researchers kind of, they bow, and each one kind of goes their own way as the chief researcher walks back to you, Allset. And he looks at you, he goes, apologies for the wait. I hope that anything you had to speak about wasn't too important that those couple minutes were lost.
It's understandable because you did have an appointment to meet with them. I do not know if a couple minutes will be to our detriment. I had wanted to speak to you about any sightings nearby of any Elder Dragon activities, particularly of a Kushala Deora, and more pertinently, for our personal skill set at the moment, a Teostra. We do know of a Valstrax in the mountains north of here, but that is for a later date.
Okay, very well. Teostra, yes, why don't we go to my office and we can discuss there. It's better than out in the open.
Of course.
So he kind of leads you off to his office. It's, you leave the docking area, travel down and make your way towards the White Academy itself. As you enter the White Academy, it is a wondrous place. Though it is made of stone, the same way that basically everything in Berna is, the architecture and the carvings and the even just the art itself within each stone is incredible. Everything seems to have a meaning in itself, whether by a picture, by some type of symbol. Even in some spots you see like schematics of different things on the walls, just in the main hall itself. There are long pillars, about 5 to 6, that lead into a large opening that looks to be like a large meeting like hall. And on either side kind of leads up stairways up into the higher points of the Academy itself. And as he leads you up, you travel 3-4 stories before he kind of enters into a smaller section of it where there is just one large door at the top. As he enters in, you enter into his office itself. It's got books wall to wall. That's all there is in here. There are piles in some spots of books that have notes and, post-it notes, if they had them in Monster Hunter, would be covering each and every one of these things. He's got a map with pins and dots all hanging on one spot where a window would be, just covering it instead. As he sits down, he offers you all a place to sit. And there's only like 2 chairs and like just a bunch of other books that you can sit on that are piled up.
Iihane wouldn't feel comfortable sitting on anything, so she would stand just a little bit off to the side.
Okay.
Just because this is probably not a good spot for her to sit anyways, and she wouldn't want to damage books by attempting to.
Okay.
I'd probably stand as well. Just kind of like a nervousness to it, like an anxiousness. But also like walking is kind of like in part to thinking, kind of like doing the 2 things at once.
Simulate your body so your brain works.
Yeah.
Okay. So as he sits down at his desk, he kind of sits you all and goes, "I apologize for the mess. And he grab a seat if you wish to have one. I have 2. I wasn't expecting 4 guests here, so that's not something I was prepared for. So, a Tiestra is what you're looking for, right?"
Of course, yes.
All right. And he gets right back up out of his chair and goes walking over to the map. And there's a bunch of different colored pins in there of all sorts and sizes. He's looking around. He's like, Tiestra. I know we've seen one soon, or at least lately. I believe it was, there. And he reaches up, and he reaches kind of the spot where you would almost expect. And he reaches towards the El de Sol region, which is on the map. If I can actually move my map here for you guys, is over here, where you are looking in the volcanic belt, effectively. Kind of looks and goes, yeah, there's been reports of a Tiestra in the area. It has not been causing any harm, but we've been keeping an eye on it just in case it chooses to migrate, look for a mate, just so we, it stays where it's supposed to. If I can ask, though, what reason are you looking for a Tiestra for?
I am sure that you're aware of Rewix being dispatched.
Yes, he's over in Poke Village doing some research on some new liquid or something.
Yes.
I've not heard that yet.
It would happen to be that me and my compatriots here are assigned to this mission to assist Rewix in his research. Now, it has come to the point where Rewix requires Elder Dragon blood, particularly of the 3 Elder Dragons that I had mentioned before, to further his research and to find a cure for this malady.
Okay. Interesting. Is there a specific reason he has chosen this blood that you know of, or has he not shared that with you yet?
Above game, was there...
It was that the inherent properties of the Elder Dragon he thinks has the potential to work as a cure.
Okay. Rewix believes that the inherent properties of Elder Dragon blood, particularly of these 3, can assist or even completely cure the malady that we are facing.
That makes sense to me. Well, I think I can assist in not only... we can't pinpoint the exact location of the Tiestra. We just know it's from area unless you meet up with a scout specifically there. We have not heard back a response in the last week, but we usually don't get reports until every 2 weeks, so it's just expected. So we can drop you off at a hunting base camp. Because conveniently enough, I believe the Soratorium will be leaving here in about 2 days, and they are heading down towards the desert, which means at least we could drop you off much closer than it would take you to get there on your own.
This is quite fortunate indeed.
So, what I would suggest is that you gather your supplies that you may need from the town below. And at the same time, I will inform Himmel and Lucy that you will be accompanying them, at least for a time, where you will then be dropped by, I'm assuming, Wingdrake, hopefully, into the volcanic belt.
If not, I will prepare a suitable plan B.
And I think, give me 1 minute. And he starts walking over through his library, scouting through a section of one of his books. And as you're kind of looking, who has the highest passive in the group, right? Who's our normal?
Probably me.
Azrar. Yeah.
I've got a 20 passive perception.
So Azrar, I mean, you notice as you're looking at the books, everything is in alphabetical order. So he's looking in the T section right now, is what you just kind of happen to notice. He grabs a dark red book and then kind of just tosses it willy-nilly towards you, all set. Give me an athletics or an acrobatics or a sleight of hand check. Let's see if you catch it.
Oh, okay.
And I intercept it.
No.
Okay.
24. So yeah, he tosses it, and you're surprised by it, but you catch it right in your hand, nice and safely. It's not super heavy. It's kind of thinnish. He goes, that's everything we know about the Tiestra. Maybe it'll make use for when you're hunting it to better protect yourselves.
This is very useful. Thank you so much.
Just return it when you're done.
Of course.
All right. I have things to get to. Unless you have any more questions or anything else you need to tell me or talk
There were
about.
2 things that I had wanted to bring up. Unless some of my compatriots also had some things, and I'll look over to them.
I got no questions.
Okay.
It seems straightforward. We just need to find. Now, we only need the blood. We may not have to. Like, for the stronger ones, we may not have to be as violent. We might be able to outthink it. That's something to keep in mind.
If we draw blood, it might not let us just walk away with it.
Just thinking of how I would react if, something or someone just tried to take some of my blood.
Oh no, I understand.
As Erus is saying this, I pull out one of my dual blades and I go to take some blood from him.
I think
you notice the grip on my hammer gets tighter as you move closer.
Iihane, at the same time you're hearing you hear a voice in your head just tell them it's like a mosquito. It just bothers you for a second and then you get away. Or it gets away.
That is a fair point. It is like a mosquito. Simple prick and then you don't always swat them.
Who are you talking to? You sound kind of like you're talking to yourself.
What, you, oh, yeah. It comes from the transformation. I hear voices that most people aren't perceptive enough to hear.
And the researcher's like, you do?
I think that's called insanity, bud.
I am interested. Are you sure you don't have time to stick around for a few days? I could do some research, we could talk about it, take some notes.
I am off with them in the 2 days on the ship, but I have nothing to do in the meantime. It never seemed weird to me.
I mean, they could be right. It could be insanity, or it could be something else.
I hope it's insanity. I'd like one more person to join.
What about psychopathy?
See,
I would.
That, I do believe that we could, if they are amicable enough, we could try to make an appeal to them if we do meet them and they are mellow I don't see. We can definitely try to ask the Kirin, that we had faced off against, which more or less had kicked off these series of events for us, was quite relieved when we had relieved it of its suffering. But I believe that is a future problem. Um, are there any sightings of a causality aura?
Sadly, there are none that I have heard at this time. My suggestion would be to head out to the town of Riveroo, which is here.
Riverwood?
Riveroo.
Hmm.
He points it out on the map. It's a elvish town in the northern mountains, north of Castle Trade. Very old, and in my knowledge, they typically keep track of anything that we don't. So
I see.
I would head to the Academy outpost there, seek additional information.
Then this is fortunate. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we had come across something that I keep on my person. A golden vial, and I'll go ahead and pull it out.
And when he does, I just shift a little bit away from it.
Testing with it produces very interesting results, particularly that of a divine nature, as it had, for some of us, given the state at which Iihane is currently in, had caused her much grief and physical pain, while for some of us, affected us in mainly positive ways.
It made me sexy.
I got over trauma.
Mainly positive, yes.
That's
my
good.
My body convulsed and threw up the liquid. It had a severely negative effect on me.
Say, as out of game, your lower spider body began to shrink as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't convulsing as much as literally shrinking.
Yeah, it shrank, and I threw it up because it was harmful to my body.
There's also some blood you threw up, if I remember correctly.
I don't recall blood.
I recall something other than the liquid. I remember puking. It might have just been like black bile or...
I think it was just throwing up the water, but I know my body ejected the liquid.
Yes.
It did not like it. That's what I'm conversing, not.
May I see it?
Of course. Here you are.
What do you know so far, other than some benefits to some and detriments to others?
A limited time use. It seems to be 3 times a day. Application of mainly water into the vial begins with its effects, at which point imbibing of it has effects, depending on the inclinations of the person imbibing of it.
How do you know it's divine nature and not arcane?
Testimonies from those of us who have imbibed.
I think I got some of that knowledge from religion, but I think it was mainly other testimonies.
My findings have... There is a power to this.
I do believe you on that. I do not doubt.
That my findings that I cannot describe. I can see the effects of them, but they are nothing short of miracles.
So you say if you drink a drop, if you drink it all, if you drink some, does it have to be water? It could be anything else.
If you would like, I have a notebook on my findings with it. I can leave it with you and the vial here. interspersed between, no doubt, your conversation with Iihane about herself.
Okay. Yes, I would like that if you don't mind. Spend some time researching here, see if I find anything that is familiar in our old text as to what it may be. So,
Beyond the nature of the vial, the golden inlays and casing that it has, I have found no other markings, nothing that I can see. So it is a puzzle to be sure.
I do believe we mentioned there was a part that was broken off on one spot.
Like a clear missing something.
Yes.
I see. Okay. As well as this piece that is missing that I cannot, for the life of me, really figure out what it was.
I will look into it along with Iihane's person that they hear.
Of course.
Whether it be real or not. Okay. Yes, if Iihane, if you don't mind, go ahead and feel free to gather your supplies that you require for your hunt that you will be going on in a couple days, and then I will inform Himmel and Lucy, as I said. And then me and you can meet back here in 2 hours, and we can talk through some things, and maybe I'll start looking into this.
That sounds agreeable.
No, is there anything else you wish to bring up or ask?
I believe that is all from me.
Excellent. Oh, then I'll please leave when you are ready, and I'm going to gather my notes, and then I will be stepping out.
Of course.
So he starts gathering his things. You head out right away then, I assume?
Yeah, I'll walk out, and then as soon as I'm out with everybody around me, I'll just start reading the book aloud.
Okay.
So everybody gets their bearings, and that we kind of know, like, what we're kind of getting into and all that.
Sure. So, it is for the most part what we're gonna find in the Monster Hunter manual. Let me go ahead and pull it up. So, you are currently going after potentially a Tiestra in its lair, which it's the lair is known to cause there's constant tremors and ground crackings with magma that will bubble up in the areas around a Tiestra while it's in there. There are points on the ground where magma will just erupt in 120 foot long lines that are 20 feet high. There is volcanic gas that can poison if you are not if you aren't quick enough to cover or hold your breath and stuff like that. In addition to that, the Tiestra itself is dangerous as it gives off a constant fire aura that when you strike it is known to lash out at its attacker within melee range, 5 feet to be more exact. Also, while you are starting your turns within 5 feet of the Tiestra, it is known to burn. Other than that, it also has a dust that it accumulates on its body and wings that as it travels and moves around, spreads out around it in addition to it has the ability to spread it out itself with a burst of its wings and detonate with the bite of it, causing it from a spark from its teeth. It is very fire heavy. It is not as adept with against magic as most other Elder Dragons. That's probably one of its bigger weaknesses. It has some saving throws, but not necessarily super strong. And that's kind of the information you get. It's very mobile and powerful.
Are we sure this is a good idea?
We have to start somewhere.
I do believe that this is our best bet.
Okay. There's just a lot of lava and magma involved in what you read, and I don't know if you guys understand what that does to, flesh. but it's not good.
Aren't you
But-
fire resistant?
Yes, this
Ye-
is
yes.
the point.
Fire resistant. I can catch on fire and be fine. Magma is a whole other level. That's like, you know, asking
magma
someone if
is
they're
hot.
resistant to poison and then dipping their hand in acid.
Well, magma is really hot. That's like fire.
Yeah.
It still hurts.
You're missing the point, bud.
Well, yeah, but acid and poison are very, very different.
Right.
Fire and magma are a lot more similar
Yeah,
than
but
acid
the
and
difference
poison.
the difference is, you know, yes, one is hot and it hurts. The other one is that, but oh so much more.
Perfect Erus
we
example.
So
we
it's a
had,
lot more fire.
no, so okay, have you ever dipped your hand in molten metal?
No, but I've had an Anjanath breathe on me.
Not as bad. So in my tribe we had a ritual once someone came of age. They would when getting trained in the ways that I had been trained, the very first tattoo that we get is actually not a tattoo, but molten metal that is hardened onto your skin.
That's metal.
Yeah, it and I will
Heart attack.
I will unbutton my shirt and show them my back, which none of you have seen up until this point. You will see in the center is a metallic shine of some infernal runes that are not like on the surface of my skin, but like are embedded into my back. And then around it are actual tattoos of other infernal runes, and it covers my entire back. And you can see they start going up into my shoulder and stuff. And I'll point to the one on my arm, and this one is from Old Man Orc. This is his name in Infernal, and the one in metal on the center of my back was my name, which is where, well, it's my name in Infernal, and then the rest of them around that are closest to my name are the closest members of my family, and then as you go farther out, farther people farther in my family and tribe, going back quite a few generations. Many of these I had done um, while my tribe was still around. The ones closest to my name of my immediate family I did not have done until afterwards. I found a man in a village. But what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't matter if you are resistant to fire or fire doesn't hurt you as much. The properties of a liquid hot metal or rock in this case are a lot more verse at going through anything compared to fire.
Well, I think we'll be fine. I'm really good at getting out of the way of a really dangerous thing.
Yeah, see,
Being evasive, if you will.
you're not the one I'm the most worried about. And I will look over at Alset and Iihane. It's these two that are both very squishy and not great at getting out of the way of that stuff.
Fair point. Like, I mean, Iihane would have issues with a giant magnifying glass.
Well, they spell heat metal.
Yeah.
So, I'm just. I think if we can pad the time before Teostra, if we can actually find a Kushala first, I think that might be our smarter a smarter bet. Just with,
But
I also just don't like the idea of going and hunting a creature in its lair, especially one that has that much control over
here's
fire.
the issue with that.
We just need a lot of fire resistance potions.
The Kushala we have no lead on. And to get a lead, we'd have to go across the country.
Whereas we already have a lead
Teostra,
on a Teostra.
And
and
with
we have
easy
a
access
ride.
as well. Yes.
Yeah, ride to it. Like I'm not taking
Divide
what you're
that by 8,
saying and
whoever's
not
measuring.
listening, but it is a very different like situation between the two. If we knew where Kushala was, that would be a perfectly good plan. We don't.
I'm just wanting to voice my concern before, shit hits the fan and, one of us potentially dies.
Is 22-day journey to Riverroot.
And how long until we get to where the Teostra is supposed to be?
An airship, like
4 days?
Yeah.
4 days?
That's 2 days of wait and 2 days of travel.
Oh. Okay, well then.
That's
Well, shit.
What you should be really concerned about is if a Kushala shows up where the Teostra is, and then we get a fire tornado.
Don't fucking say shit like that, man.
My plans are
yes.
ruined and called out.
Yeah, you ever hear of a manifesting shit? Don't say shit like that. It's gonna happen now, and we're all gonna fucking die.
Well, I mean, I might have accidentally manifested that Gigi Nox, because I remember talking about that like as a theory like a while back, like on my first hunt with Maraska. And then that thing comes out of his house.
Yeah, but also this is Maraska we're talking about.
He probably got the idea from me, honestly.
It was prone to
It's
happen
fine.
eventually.
We invented frenzy toads earlier today.
Oh god! Oh god!
Can we not?
I'm just imagining like the
vote to
fucking
ban the
paratoads, but black and with big sharp teeth.
Yeah,
Like they're very aggressive.
It's too good.
Kick them, you just get infected, you fall over dead.
Yep, frenzy toads were invented earlier today. Something legendary for that.
Well, and if the fire tornado happens, there are rules for fire tornadoes in Descent into Avernus, so you could definitely look at that, Aaron.
You really need you.
I don't
this
need
is
to,
me
right?
speaking out of game. You really need to shut the fuck up.
See, I just want to experience the most fucked up shit while playing because it's fun to suffer.
And then a Lunesta shows up and we just die.
And then Aaron has suddenly made the like sync attack like
I would never. How
for
dare you?
them.
But yeah, I hear your concerns, but it's such a big time and we don't know what kind of time constraint we're on. And remember, there is the possibility we might not have to fight it if it's reasonable.
The thing is, I really feel it doesn't matter how fucking reasonable a creature is. You walk into its home with weapons and wanting some of its blood, that doesn't look good.
Maybe we offer it a lot of food.
Yeah, does the book say anything about what a Teostra might like? Hey, don't they eat I thought I remember reading somewhere they eat odd things. Could we bring it a gift? And
Well,
ask.
just been
I
perusing
don't.
through the book about, you know, eating habits and other.
I don't actually know what a TS's eating habits are, to be honest.
Gunpowder.
I
They eat
it's a
gunpowder.
lot of meat because
Meat
they're
and
big
gun-
lions basically.
Gunpowder and meat.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's gonna be any amount of food that we could get for it to allow us to take some of its blood. I mean, like if it has the knowledge to communicate with us and like hold a conversation and not just try and kill us right off the bat, then it probably has some semblance of understanding to know what its blood, like the power that its blood contains for us as hunters. Um, and it giving that up willingly, whether it believes in our cause or not, just seems very unlikely to me.
Then I
Yes.
suppose we have to hope that it goes berserk and out of its habitat. Yes?
That I think either that or we somehow lure it out of its
What
den.
way the gift would prove useful there too, as bait.
Yeah, I think it'd be much better as for bait. Or hold on. I look over at Elset. You can cast haste, right?
To a point, yes.
Okay. Um I think between me and Azrar, the two of us both can move an extremely far distance in a very short amount of time.
This has been observed, yes.
What if
I'm a
you
zoomer.
what if you cast haste on one of us and we draw it out of its lair? Do we know how large its lair is considered?
You don't have a lot of information other than they're tracking it right now.
Yeah.
The scout would
Like-
probably be able to get the scout that you guys are told you're going to meet up with would probably be able to tell you that information. Potential.
Okay. Because haste only lasts a minute, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's 60 seconds. That's 10 rounds.
And I can
Well, yeah,
double
but
dash
depending on-
every round.
I
Yeah,
would
but-
also recommend, instead of, there are drugs for this
There's
sort
al-
of situation as well.
Oh,
Well, yes, this is true. Which would mean I could move an insanely far
Yeah.
distance as
You just
well.
have to be slow enough that it doesn't lose sight of you.
I don't
in
think that's gonna be a
perspective,
problem.
right now-
most things that fly can move about as fast as I can run.
right now, the maximum speed I can run is 120 feet in 6 seconds. With haste, that's up to 240 feet.
If I drank,
No,
I
it
mean-
would be even more because of your extra action. To dash.
yeah, I could go.
Oh, fuck, yeah, fuck.
I could go
It doubles
125
my
without
speed.
haste if I rage in that turn.
Okay, so it would be 320 actually with haste for me.
Fuck.
If only you guys had.
Sure,
If
not
only you guys were a
breaking any
tabaxi.
bones.
Yeah, no. Think
Oh,
about
God,
that.
yeah,
Sure, you're not
so
breaking any bones as you're moving that fast within a 6-second period.
If you're a
I'm pretty sure
tabaxi,
that's
if only I was a tabaxi and a totem barbarian.
Boom.
And like a
Well-
totem barbarian rogue multi-class.
Sounds
Yeah,
awful
but you're
just
not.
to be that fast.
Because if you're eagle totem, you get some fucking insane like flight shift too.
You know, I'm hearing a lot of what ifs and not a lot of I can actually. So,
No. I can move really fucking fast under the right circumstances.
so what I propose is one, we figure out exactly how large of a space we're is considered its lair, because obviously if it's like 1,000 feet radius, we can get outside of that, even maybe 2,000 feet or something. We can get it outside of that area. if we're talking like a few miles, there's with one cast of haste, we're not getting it outside of there. And I think our best bet, if we can lure it out, is to set up a trap, get Azrar to lure it out, and get it to the trap area.
Get me zooming.
Also, you can make a scroll of haste, right?
Of course, that will take a little bit more time, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure just buying the drugs will actually be more beneficial. And the information that you are no doubt seeking on the radius of the lair, will have to be reserved for the scout once we meet up with them.
Yes. Because I know being an elder dragon, just its essence tends to warp the landscape around it, but I don't know, again, like how large that radius is and how, like, what if that is considered its lair when it's like in one spot. So, and yeah, we can talk to the scout about that, because that's really gonna make or break this plan.
Well then, shall we? I'm going to go buy the drugs. Would anyone like to join me?
I'll come with you on your drug purchasing endeavors.
I think I'm
I was
poor
about
again.
to say, if
I am
somebody
poor
knows
again.
where to buy drugs, it's the road.
I mean,
I still have 11,803 gold pieces.
I have 5 platinum still.
I also have
I
5
wish
platinum.
I had that. I wish I had that money in real life.
I will throw
I
out,
have-
while you guys are in town, if you wanted to use a downtime action to try to sell materials, that is fine as well. I don't mind whenever you guys enter a town, like the first time, if you want to try to sell 10 materials, I think that makes sense to me.
Just so you guys see how poor I am.
Oh my god.
Erus spent a lot of money on drugs.
He's an addict.
So,
drugs.
while you guys are buying, there are currently 5 potions of greater healing available. Same as actually though. 5 potions of greater.
Pretty much not about enough.
6 normals. And 4 resistance potions. They only had 2.
I'm good on resistance potions, and I haven't used any healing potions in a hot minute, so I think I'm good.
I have poison resistance, lightning resistance, cold. Oh no, I have lightning resistance, fire resistance, cold resistance, no poison.
I mean, if it's a air thing, just use a air filter.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. I have a psychoseum still.
Yeah, alright. I'm gonna cross that off my list then.
Because we got it just in case, but we haven't used it yet, so...
Yes.
I have a single poison knife. That might come in handy.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, actually,
Maybe
I was looking at something. Yeah, I was going to mention that you do know you found like a page that was stuck together all set, and that they chesters are susceptible to poison, and if they are poisoned, their fire aura is not active.
That gets rid of one problem.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a thing from prior games.
Yep.
Not in World though.
Yep.
Because World introduced Dragon Seal or Elder Seal.
Okay. Well, it looks like that I have the poison to turn off the fire aura quite well in hand, it seems. Even though it is not the more reliable one. But on the off chance that I do happen to do it, then I will do it. The drugs that I'm looking at are very expensive. I will keep this Very expensive indeed.
I can give you a loan.
Yeah, I learned from my heroin addiction that drugs tend to be expensive. I mean,
It's
what?
okay. I was going to
Explains
give
the low
to
weight.
Erus anyway.
Fuck Christ, Aaron.
He's
Wow.
not wrong.
The only drugs that I do are caffeine and marijuana.
Same.
And
But,
and
yeah.
one of those is supposed to help you be hungry.
Yeah.
But I don't know any good poison
Fuck.
spells for cleric. I don't think there is any.
If cleric gets cloud kill, maybe that, but I don't think they do.
Just
Uh,
proc the
no.
bane on it. And we're
Oh,
good.
I can contagion. Yeah, I can get contagion.
Oh yes, expose it to a virus. Contaminate its blood.
Yeah, boy.
Give the Teostra COVID.
I was gonna say, Teos was wearing its face mask, right?
Yeah, no, I'm going to during one of the long days rest, I'm going to switch out my holy fire spell for the contagion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably a
I
good
don't-
idea. Get rid of the fire.
Holy fire thing is radiant.
Flame strike. Sorry,
Oh,
it's half fire.
it's
Yeah,
half
that's half fire, half radiant.
Yeah, so I won't be
Plus,
casting Searing Smite on it.
Fair.
And contagion isn't concentration. I could still holy weapon. Erus.
Woo.
But yeah, I think that's the only thing I have to do in my days.
Yeah, Contagion's literally the only cleric spell that inflicts the poisoned condition. Holy shit.
Boy, does it.
Oh yeah, and it has to succeed on 3 saves in order to get rid of the poison.
Man.
Get fucked. Oh, but it's a melee spell attack, so you're gonna have to endure
Oh,
the fire at
no.
first.
Oh no,
Oh,
but if it
no.
fails 3, it also gets rid of the poison. I just get to inflict it with bigger stuff.
Oh yeah, flesh rot, vulnerability to all damage.
Oh,
Easy peasy.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
let's do
god
that.
tier.
let's do that.
You can make it have seizures. Holy shit. Mind fire.
That just sounds like a
Okay,
normal Tuesday for me.
This is a perfect spell for Iihane. It's not leaving.
Filth fever. I think that just sounds like you give it diarrhea.
Slimy Doom is diarrhea, even though it says it's bleeding uncontrolled.
So,
Right.
back
Let's
to
not talk
more
about
fun
Slimy Doom.
things.
This
Yep.
is fun, Aaron.
Fun for you,
But no,
maybe.
we bought some drugs. I walked around with them, and after 2 hours, I would head back like I promised to go meet. Oh, before 2 hours to go meet. But I don't know what else they do.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go to you while they're still looking at potential stuff and whatnot.
Okay.
So, Iihane, you eventually make it back up while walking the Y Academy. You get a couple strange stares from a few people as you're walking up alone as a drider in the middle of a research place. Like, did something get out?
That's
I
low.
walk with that sense of purpose, though. Like, I belong here. And,
Yeah.
Most people, if you have that confidence, they don't even question you.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Oh, I also forgot to mention that I now have this also in the handout section. Boom.
Nice.
So we have travel
Yeah.
rules for like the roles for you guys, and I have the rules for me and then the GM section of it all. For like modifiers and whatnot for overland rules. Right now, the spotter can get 1 ore basically every week. So every week of travel, you get a free ore or bone. Outside of that, I also did this, which is the important one. I hit edit instead of show players. This is also available to you guys in the handout section. You scroll down to the artisan section. The rules for cooking pop in there, nice and ordered, numbered, and then all the meals.
And the meals. Nice.
All nice and clicky and everything.
Only downside of power juice is if I drink it, I have to do the concentrating instead of all set.
Right.
Yes.
But I probably have better con than all set does.
Yeah, but Khan has.
You can find
he has
300.
advantage.
You can definitely get 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds. That's fine. So, Iihane, as you enter into the chief researcher's office, do you knock or do you just like come in?
Yeah, I would knock. Like, even though he invited me back, it's still polite to not walk in on somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. So you knock and you hear, "Oh yes, please come in. I was expecting you."
And of course, I come in.
I apologize. I don't think I actually got your name.
My name is Iihane Hoon.
Iihane, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
All right. So, other than the fact that you're a Drider, you're hearing a voice.
Yes, I can remember hearing it for as far back as my memory goes.
Starts taking notes. All right. Far back as you can
No,
know. Like, so you had this voice before when it became this?
know about before my transformation. Memories before the transformation are always fuzzy.
Interesting.
There's little bits of memories that I have,
Mm-hmm,
but not clear vividness like after.
Understood. This voice, is it telling you to do things, to hurt people?
Only things that are normal for a drow. It doesn't do anything that is against my nature. It gives me advice, and I've always trusted it.
Okay. Have you ever tried going against whatever it suggested?
Not that I remember. It's always seemed reasonable.
Okay, and that's how you ended up as a hunter.
It did lead me here, yes. It suggested I shouldn't live alone and that I should try to find more like-minded people.
So more drow.
I've always... Most drow are not as minded as I am. I'm more for the chaotic reality of nature more than creating chaos myself. And that, from the little bit I remember before my transformation, is what led me to what I am now.
So this voice then directs you towards nature and like protecting and preserving nature.
To an extent, but not always. It's not leading it straight for what my mind is based on. It's almost like it has, as far as it's always has at least, my interests at heart. Whether or not I know it or at the time or otherwise.
And then it... Okay. Do you have a name for it, or do you have a feeling of who it is?
I do have a name, at least one that always is in my head whenever I talk to the voice. It's Maya.
Maya.
And it's always been there, like I said, and it's always been reasonable. So I've never felt like it was abnormal.
So you think it's another drow, or?
That's what it sounds like. I have an image in my head, and it is drow, but the voice for sure that I hear is drow.
Interesting. Well, what I would like you to try to do is go against, just to see if this is a voice that is guiding you. Obviously, in general, if it feels like the what it directs you to do is inconsequential, like if it tells you to save your friends, But if it tells you, to pick milk versus orange juice in the morning for breakfast, I'd like you to try the other and see what happens. Find out if it actually I mean, it could be a friend, it could be in your head. It does not personally, from what I know of drow, sound like a drow. As you know, drow are very much about survival of the fittest. Strongest survive, strongest live.
Yes.
It is not what it's directing you to do.
I always just assumed it was a friend, so it cared more about me than most other drow have ever.
I mean, it
Well-
may be a friend. It may be your conscious. It could be your Jiminy Cricket, for all I know.
Be cricket.
Germany
fucking-
Hornitar.
Jiminy.
That'd be a huge
Oh
change
man,
to that story.
just a big on your big
We're
old
in the
fucking.
Disney universe.
Oh man.
Dude, we
Yes.
cross over to Kingdom Hearts.
Monster Hunter X Kingdom
no!
Hearts Rathalos, and they had to defeat it.
I mean, Smash.
Yeah,
There's
right.
some Sora now.
Yeah.
Boom, there we go.
And Rathalos.
It's now
Boom,
canon.
Already connected.
So
Dude, Heartless
he just
Rathalos?
he just looks at you and just go against it at one point and see if it angers, if it gets mad, or if it accepts your change. Because it maybe it's leading you to good decisions for its own reasons. Maybe it's doing it because it is looking out for you. Maybe it's not real. And let me know what happened. This is going to take a bit more time to really determine what's going on. Do you hear it now? Has it talked at all? Is it common?
It doesn't always talk. It hasn't spoken up as of yet in this conversation. The last time I heard it was when we were talking about maybe obtaining the blood without conflict. It doesn't always speak up. It doesn't speak up super frequently, which is why I tend to pay more attention when it does.
I have another theory also. One second. He goes into his desk and pulls out a necklace. He goes, "Wear this."
I grab it. What
But-
does it do?
It should, if it's something that isn't within you, you should no longer hear it while wearing it.
I go to put the necklace on.
It doesn't sting or burn or it's
Yeah.
on.
I will attempt to, and I slip the necklace like just under the collar
Mhm.
of my armor so that it's protected there.
Okay. Take it off at some points, put it back on at others. See when you hear it.
I'll try to change it up on a day-to-day basis. See if that does anything.
It's a good test. And if you would, please report any findings to Allset. I'm sure he will get them to me as needed.
He does indeed like his reports, so I'm sure it'd be a
He does.
much nicer hand than anything I could do.
On that, I would like to test one last thing. And he pulls out the vial, the gold vial.
Subconsciously, I shift back a little.
So he goes, "You don't need to stress." And he kind of you kind of just hear him like he puts his fingers up to his head. He goes, "Can you come in now?" And in comes walking comes Lucy. Himmel also comes in just because he's just following along. He's like, he goes, "I know that this hurt you the last time. As a safety precaution, I would like to see the effects of it, as I have tested it on myself. About an hour, basically once you left, I decided to see how it would affect me, and I felt great. I would like to see its potential negative effects. I have brought Lucy here in case those negative effects potentially lead to disfiguration or death. We can fix that. If you would
look
be-
around-
It's an
around
offer.
the
You do not
room.
have to."
Yeah. I look around the room. I'm like, I'm more than willing. Do you happen to have something I could? Last time I drank it, it my body forced it back out. Do you have a bucket or a trash can?
I
You
appreciate.
have a lot of paper.
I do. I appreciate that point. And he like reaches under his desk and pulls out like his trash can, like dumps out all the papers that are in there. Just, here you go.
And I'm trying to think, I'm going to do a half like thing, like not down the whole thing like I
Mhm.
did last time. That had such a big negative effect.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do half of one, just to show him.
Okay. So as you drink half of it, as you like hesitantly go, maybe handshaking a little bit, you start drinking it. You take 3 good gulps, and it burns a little bit, and you feel it.
Vodka.
Yeah. It tastes like really bad vodka. Uh, it does not. You don't feel really anything too horrible. So,
If I
but it's
don't feel
uncomfortable.
anything
It's
too
nothing
horrible,
like
I
what it
will
was before.
I will continue if halfway through I don't feel anything too horrible.
You're
to show
halfway
him
through
that-
right now, currently.
Yeah, I would. If I don't feel anything horrible now, I will continue drinking it to give him the full, like,
Okay.
sample.
Yeah. So as you do, would you give me a Constitution saving throw again?
Yes.
Shotgun it.
22. Okay.
Oh shit.
And as you do, your stomach just starts to tie into knots, and you kind of like bend over as much as a drider can. And that's when we fade to black. As we go back to the rest of the group. So
Something really gross is happening right now.
you hear, "Oh my god!"
Vital shits.
We go back to the rest of the group. So the rest of the group, you guys are out shopping, or maybe you've just finished shopping and you're meeting back at like the guild hall to eat. What do you guys? Well, what in a sense, what are you guys doing?
I think with my recent purchases, I'm sort of setting them off to the side. I'll slide over the power juices, one to both Azrar and Erus. Like I said, there are drugs to mimic the effects of a haste spell upon one person. Now, please do not use any fire near me, as I will now separate the 10 pounds of gunpowder that I had purchased.
You see, I'm starting the incantation for Syrian Smite, and sorry.
I'll just separate them out, put them away in the bag of holding,
Mhm.
and just sort of, I don't know. I guess I'll start transcribing the Teostra field book for personal use, just
Okay.
in case, like in the future, if so, I can add my own annotations to my copy, and then like not mess up his copy.
Okay.
Let's just start doing that while I'm like idly eating something with a spoon. I don't know.
Okay. So we know Erus was just trying to cast Steering Smite. What else are you? Are you like trying to toy with like your newfound paladinness, or what are you doing, Erus, in this case during like this time?
Probably. I mean, Erus is very new at being a paladin, and especially like level 1.
Mhm.
Not a whole lot
Right.
that like he can do. Hasn't even taken an oath yet. Just kind of very new to this whole religion thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he'd probably just kind of be chilling, watching intently, like trying to learn.
Mhm.
And then like he's always had an interest in improving his intelligence, what little he can. But he'd probably just kind of be watching intently and on standby for in case anything happens.
Okay. And then Azrar, what are you doing?
Azar's probably not doing much. He's just gonna be, cleaning his nails with a knife or something. like just getting all the grime out from underneath him. He's just off to the side, relaxing. He doesn't really have anything important to do.
Okay. So you're kind of sitting there relaxing. From the guild hall entrance. As you're all sitting there, noting, maybe trying to take in some reading a bunch of different like religious pamphlets. There's definitely a Tiamat one sitting there at one point. And
Maraska's been here.
They have a little pamphlet stand specifically for religious ones, kind of like next to like the daily newspaper.
Exactly.
We gotta start mixing in Maisie pamphlets.
Oh man,
God.
too good.
It's mainly a Poke Village.
Mm-hmm.
Make Aphid the next pamphlet paladin.
Pamphlet in.
You think Erus knows how to write well enough to make a
It's only
pamphlet?
pictures, it's fine.
He'll commission all set, and then he'll hand out the pamphlet.
Flawless. So in walks Iihane. And I think you're the first person to notice that it's her, Azrar. As you see Iihane walking in with 2 legs. Not 8 legs.
Yo, what the fuck? Guys,
Unsteadily too.
Oh,
Guys.
very unsettling.
look. Iihane lost 6 legs.
Pull out my hammer and just point it at her. Who are you, vile demon?
Vile woman.
As he's checking, consulting his pamphlet, that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, when addressing something you don't understand, call it a vile demon. I'm getting the hang of this.
I'll pull out the like a little sheet that I can add to the vial notebook later and be like, interesting development with Iihane Hun. She has lost her drider half.
Is she still a drow?
It looks exactly like your upper half was, just with the appropriate lower half of a drow.
I hope she has pants on.
Yes,
Oh,
of course she has
wouldn't
pants
walk
on.
around
No
without
pants.
it. I'm sure there was.
This is the no pants
No matter
gang?
what happened with the research, like somebody would have gotten her some pants.
Yeah,
Come on now.
it's definitely one
Yeah.
of those things where we flash back to Iihane as you're curled up, and as that spider body is shrinking, it starts to reform into your normal legs that you had once when you were younger, and you just see the chief researcher just writing so many notes right now of exactly excruciating detail of what is happening to you. While Lucy is there prepared to do whatever needs to be done in case you're dying. She's not sure what the fuck's going on.
But there's no memes about drider pants.
How does the Trider wear pants?
Good. Same way a spider does.
Yeah. As you after excruciating pain, as it slowly subsides, you have 2 legs. And then are very quickly given clothing.
Yeah. Before the camera can even see it.
Of course.
Like,
You have the clothing on before they even show the legs.
exactly.
Yeah, we don't do fan service here.
Yeah, no fan
Yeah.
service.
Exactly.
I'm not an anime.
She definitely looks very unsteady to you guys, like holding on to the wall for more support.
I
maybe
think
even-
Lucy's probably grabbing you from behind, to hold you
Yeah.
steady as you're walking to the guild hall.
Probably even her probably even her major staff is being used as like a makeshift actual walking stick. As she unsteadily just comes and sits at the table with you guys and explains up to the moment of the excruciating finishing the potion and what she kind of probably blacked out for most of after that.
No doubt.
She explains about the research, the conversation, and then blacking out. And probably Lucy could probably explain what happened after that to them.
And she kind of just fills in that your legs change. You regain consciousness after a couple minutes. And as the chief researcher looks at you and goes, I did not expect that. I don't know if this is a permanent thing. If so, I am sorry if this is not what you wanted. It was very interesting.
feel uncomfortable, but
I mean, understandably so. You had 8, and now you have 2.
if it's permanent, there's nothing we can do about it now.
I think it'll be a thing that we have to wait and see.
Yes.
Um.
And if it is permanent, maybe Loth will shine her divine presence on me again.
Yes, of course. As they're all like, yeah.
I have a 10% chance by Asker every day. Just turn everybody in the party into Driders. Let's go.
You're all Driders.
Kieran Centaur, let's go.
It's like I'm home again.
Wait, that just makes me think of that one centaur where it's half horse, half centaur.
What about the Mantar? Half man, half another man.
Another man.
Yeah.
But a different one.
Yeah.
So, it's been 40 minutes or so before you got down to there. They walked you down. I don't know if you necessarily wanted to show the group or not. That was like your intention, like of excitement or worry.
I would head to them afterwards either way,
Mhm.
And it's not something you can hide.
No, it definitely
So-
isn't. And I think the researcher for the most part was like, I need to take notes. I need to just figure out
Yeah.
what this is.
So after I recovered enough to have walked and they've taken their notes, that's when I would have headed down.
And Lucy's staying with you here. At the same point, the researcher also has a great amount of trust in Allset at the same time to note and also care as needed, just in case. But Lucy's staying with you at the time. She's just kind of there to help at the moment. As you are now currently like me walking towards wherever they're sitting currently.
Yeah, I would sit down with them, but I wouldn't get any food or anything. My stomach probably would not be in a fit state for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your stomach's probably about half the size it used to be now.
Now
That
you
would-
only have one
I
stomach.
feel like
Yeah, I
there's
was about
something
to say, I think
different.
I would have had 2, and now I have just a normal elf one.
Oh, so you were closer to a cow
Yeah.
than. Oh,
I mean,
that's
well, think
weird
about
to
it.
think about.
You would, like, my raised up is still normal drow and non.
It's a stomach then
anatomy.
stomach.
Yeah. Then I have lower half that is normal spider, like autonomy.
Alset's having that face right now as he thinks about it.
Like stomach to intestines to second stomach
Yeah.
It's a great filtering system.
to
Yeah,
whole.
exactly.
Makes sense.
All
It's a
right.
spider stomach though, so it. And
It processes goo anyway. Whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Whatever.
It's how I
Make a
imagine
note
it
of it.
as a person. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you're all in a room with two
This is
ladies.
the- This is certainly a development.
yes, I'm unsure what to make of it, but we have to. I at least have a couple days of rest to see what happens.
hmm.
Yeah. Are you
I
comfortable?
would, not particularly yet. We will see if it settles. She is, by the way, much smaller than she used to be. She's probably like 5'4" or shorter
Okay.
now, like right
Yeah,
around
I mean,
that height.
we're on the fucking body of a giant spider. Of course you're
Well,
smaller.
yeah. She was 7'1".
What?
Probably
That's
like
Them
with
games, dude.
big.
with the return of humanoid legs, the legs are probably also like atrophied to shit.
No, they're normal.
No,
this
it's
case.
a divine thing. I would assume, like, maybe not like
Yeah, fair.
super developed or toned, but
If it was a scientific cure for Drider, then it probably would have had you would have probably had atrophied legs.
fine. It's magical.
Magic. Salt explains everything.
Exactly. But Yeah, no. She looks at you guys. Have you guys done anything in the last hour? Uh, really, talking?
I
Not.
mean, I cleaned and painted my nails. Yes, Azrar was also painting his nails.
Just the market.
I learned uh about gunpowder.
Yeah, and all the hazards and safety procedures as I'm.
Gunpowder, the cocaine of tieflings.
Mm.
You were so loud that the mic blew out.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. Didn't
Yeah,
kill
no,
our,
it
it didn't kill our ears. That was a good.
Yeah. It was just like,
Yeah, no, it just
woo!
yeah, it turned you down. But yeah, she at least unsteadily sit down and at least be with you guys now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're all sitting. Technically, food is brought out, and you guys eat, or do you do something else? Do you like try to like taking a bunch of notes all set, or try something, or
Yeah,
Azrar's gonna eat.
like as she's saying, like her recollection, like no doubt the chief researcher uh has his own notes on the thing, but just for redundancy's sake, um not note those down for later
Mhm.
to add to
I
the
also
book.
we went over the whole story about the to outset the voice because I don't hide it. It's not something I'm ashamed of.
Mhm.
And to let him know that the chief researcher made a mention of his note taking and that I should report any more with the voice to offset.
I see. And then I pull out another book. I'm just like, jeez. Like 3 different books at the same time, just trying to collate what information needs to go into
goes to
which
buy
book.
a new notebook?
Yeah. I'll take 10 off for just books.
Okay, a lot of
Books
books.
and paper, yeah.
Uh,
As yes, you guys sit and eat food, get books and whatnot. Around the time that you finish eating, or so about 20 or so minutes later, so an hour after drinking the vial of honey, you start to feel a tingle in your leg.
Oh
And
no.
as you're sitting at the table, you start to feel the tingle, and then you just feel like something's crawling all over your legs. And as you look,
I
like you kind of like scoot the bench back, and as you see just spider covering that then begin to extend outwards, forming a web behind in the shape of a spider abdomen,
yeah.
Oh, you're turning back. Aw.
and then reforms into the leg as you restand once again at 7'1".
You see her visibly like a little bit more at peace than what she was. Like it's like when you avoid about something but don't want to worry about something, and that thing just goes away. You're just instantly weight off your shoulder at ease, and that's what it is. Because it might not be a normal body, but it's her body.
There's
Yeah,
a
fair.
there's definitely a scream or two from at least one Palico
Oh, yeah.
and a couple other people like from the village that are in the guild hall when this is happening.
One lady just faints off at the side seeing it.
See, I knew that exact feeling of the spiders on the legs, though, not because of actual spiders on the legs, but because of that like paranoid crawling feeling you
Mm-hmm.
sometimes get.
Yeah, you feel
She
it, and just you
It's
reform.
weird. For her, spiders are actually comforting. Yeah, no, having that back, she probably orders food at that point because she's probably really starving at that point. Then
The second stomach is
like,
empty.
well, not only that, but she didn't eat because she was like nervous and
Right.
whatnot, and now that's gone. Like, there's no reason not to eat, so she
Mhm.
gets a bunch of fruits and vegetables of that kind.
Okay.
Take note of that.
Yes, you
Ask questions.
1
how are you
hour.
feeling? Yeah.
I think that's the last of that potion I would like to ingest. That affects my body differently than you guys, though. I guess it could be useful if we need to hide myself.
For an hour at a time, yes, this does seem plausible. I would not want to force that upon you anymore as well, as it did cause you some degree of discomfort. And now that we do have a good baseline, if we do happen to come across others in your situation or others akin to your situation, we would, I would ask them certainly nicely as I can for a larger sample size. But thank you for your assistance in any case.
Okay. So, if nothing else you guys want to do, the night goes by peacefully, and so does the next day. Then we are going to flash forward to the four of you climbing up the sanatorium. Iihane just like using her drier legs just to crawl up the side of it, not even use the ladder because fuck ladders.
Yeah, when you have a climb speed, why don't you just climb?
I mean, I have a climb speed too.
By the way, Aaron, I just
Yeah.
subtracted 5 silver and just bought several sets of pants just in the off
Just in
chance
case.
that ever happens. Yeah.
Okay.
Because those pants probably
Beans.
shredded
Oh,
when I go back.
they kind of just
Or magically.
yeah. It was one of those things where like the
whatnot.
spiders like literally formed from it as it reformed your body. You are as you're sitting there. The vial is back in hand. All set. As the researcher is trying to kind of give you updates on what he found, he looks at you and just goes, I have not narrowed down which god this was once not necessarily belonged to, but was blessed by. But I would concur with your thoughts of it being divine. I would agree with your assessments that it will, drinking, obviously acts close to something that is like a greater healing potion. If you have a tarnished food, a single drop will purify it. And then, in the case of Iihane, it seems to, in a sense, I would say, removes corruption, which kind of tracks with the food, and in a sense, the damage. I would guess someone in the Platinum Court, but I'm not sure which.
And these are answers for another time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
I would just be careful letting her have any more of it, because we're not sure if those effects will be longer, permanent, or not happen again at all, and that might dissuade her if she ever wishes to become a drow.
Those are my own concerns with those as well.
As you're like behind him, and he's like,
yeah. Well, I'm standing
Yeah.
like up the side. Like
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking too. We need a larger sample size before I am to drink it again. Just people maybe wanting to remove this change to their body. There are more of me out there in the world. I just do not know where.
Fair. Well, I wish you the best of luck. As you should expect, they will be flying over the volcanic belt in the next 2 days or so. We have wing drakes ready for you to descend to the hunting ground base camp, and you should meet a scout there that should inform you on anything you may need to know. So, I wish you the best of luck. Look forward to seeing any notes on what you have found. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
Until next time.
Next time. And then he just kind of, stands there and just like steps off as time to take off, as you start seeing guild workers like unwrapping the ropes from the dock. You see a couple of them like push up and off as the wood starting to get tossed into the big ass bonfire pit that causes the sanatorium to begin its flight.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. And as it begins to take off, it goes at a fairly steady pace, much faster than on horse or winged drake or any other travel way you have, as you are traveling the course of effectively 110 days in 2.
And then 2, 10 and 2.
11 days. Yeah. So effectively, you're doing 11 days in 2 days. As it is just moving, there's no need to rest. For the sake of it, because there is a 2-day journey, there is still the chance of a random encounter while flying. So if someone would like to be the trailblazer, I would just need them to make me a survival roll, and then I will try to counter that. Okay.
Rolled a 4. Thank God I nat 20 that con. I have no idea what negative that could have happened, but like,
Your organs melt and you die.
hey, she was dead to resurrect me, so it's fine.
It's
Just come back as a blade singer wizard, Iihane's long lost sister, identical twin, just not a drider.
roll until I get one that works. Okay.
Oh, guys, I failed you.
As you are traveling through, through the skies, slightly cloudy day, not heavy dense clouds, just a few little of those nice white fluffy clouds in the sky. It's definitely a new experience for probably all of you, as the wind is just blowing, the ground is far below. And as you begin to descend a little bit closer towards ground, just for ease of sight at nighttime, you do happen to notice somewhere roughly about midway. Get my pink here. Somewhere around here. So, come on, right button. There we go. I did it. I'm a miracle worker. Somewhere around here or so, you do happen to see a stretch of land littered with bone, and looks to be ancient, like from how far up I can't tell exactly, but looks to be some type of metal kind of scattered around the ground in that area. And that is kind of what you can see. Maybe a place of an old battle, maybe an old real ruined city. Not entirely sure.
Can we take down to there?
I'm sure that the Soratorium has a schedule to keep. And
Yeah.
while I am also interested in understanding what that metal is, especially with considering the area,
We can always
we are
mark it on the
What
map.
what if that
and
metal's a
check on the way
Kushala
back.
Deora? Huh?
I doubt, but we can also mark it on the map and on the return trip. Come this way.
Are they going to be waiting for us to finish with the Teostra, or are we going to have to walk?
I think we have to walk.
Well, all right.
yes, we are hitching a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, give you a spot there on the map.
As the kids would say.
Like a 3-day journey, roughly. Trying to guess, that's roughly about where it's at. You get to that hex and you guys would search for it.
Okay.
Because it's like 8-mile radius. Or not radius, diameter. So, you fly over and continue on to the next day as the ship just keeps going the entire time. Let's go ahead and have one more survival check. There's no finding of ores or bugs and stuff like that while you're flying at this kind of high speed.
The bug could just hit us like windshield. It's fine.
So,
Catch it in my mouth.
It's Jiminy Hornitar. Oh God, he's splattered everywhere. No!
That was the last anybody heard about him.
yep, never hearing that voice of your friend ever again. You guys just killed him.
No.
So,
I will
Jiminy.
say, I am still every other day taking it off
Okay.
and testing that.
so far you have not heard anything, but you definitely had points where you've gone days without hearing from
Yeah.
from Maya. As you second day goes by fairly uneventfully. You eventually begin to see the ground break away from the rolling plains and the few sparse trees to large mountains with molten fire, smoke on the horizon as you come into the volcanic belt in the El something region. I remember. I always mix it. There's too many, like, it's Spanishy, and it always messes with me on exactly how to say it.
Ah.
It is
Del
the North Elde region. It's just Elde.
The day region.
North Elde region.
Or the region of the day, something like that.
El Day.
So, you arrive, and as you do, Lucy looks at you all and goes, you all have everything you need, correct? Cold drinks for the heat, rations, potions, resistance potions.
I got one cold drink.
I have
Oh.
2 on me. But I also
That
have
should
the
be
potion
fine.
of...
And of course, if you're
It
resistant
is
to
fire
fire,
resistant.
she looks at Erus. You'll be fine anyways. But I think it would be best for you to remember that if you do run out and you need some, your artisan, as she looks at Ulset, can always cook you a meal instead. So, best of luck. Here are your drakes, as they're like all tied up on the side. They will take you down to the hunting ground below, where you should see your scout, though we still have yet to hear from him, but he still has a couple days. Best of luck.
Thank you, Lucy. I appreciate the watchful eye during these last couple days, just to make sure that I'm well.
It was interesting.
What's
Bye,
sad?
bye, honey.
Hey, takes the hold of hers.
All grab onto your wing drakes. You descend downwards into the volcanic belt. Traveling down, you watch as the Soratorium kind of just travels away beyond as you descend downwards. There are, you see the occasional large creature flying down, believe, because you're quite high in the sky. The volcanoes are active. There's smoke spewing up in spaces. There's lava pools that you can watch just running down from the peaks of these volcanoes in a different section, creating these massive just sections of bright light. There are dark and charred areas. There is the occasional like plant life you might see here and there as you descend down into hunting base camp. I do not have a new map for this area, so we're still going back to the old battle. Boom. Good old days. Where I still have stuff like up here. Look at there's a little Valorous there. Delete.
Nah.
So I'll give you guys on the map here. Boop. 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 And then
Now everything laggy a little bit.
is it? I can turn off the damn lighting if I need to. 1 second.
Yeah.
I'll just turn it off. It's not that big. That should help you.
Yeah, that's much better.
So hopefully once we transition to Foundry, that will go away.
Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
it's definitely more optimized. I've noticed.
You arrive in the base camp, centered down here. You are not next to a river. This in this case, the base camp is deeper inside the volcanic region. But we're still going to use the same map, obviously. When you arrive, there's one tent set up currently. There is a open blue guild chest. There is no one necessarily directly there, like outside looking up to meet you. But also the scout in this case maybe not have known you were coming yet, as there's been no communication really for the most part. As you land, your wing drakes, you let them go. They fly off back to the Soratorium to catch back up to where they're at.
Starts.
Yep. And you're now no longer with happy music.
Want a wing drake that's just a massive pigeon?
No.
That's the DLC we need.
I don't even want a wing thing that's a massive pigeon. I just want a normal-sized pigeon that just carries me.
Dundorma, it has no pigeons. It's just fucking wing drakes shitting everywhere.
Jesus.
The anti-pigeon spikes are actually just massive.
And there's no more crickets. So.
Yeah, obviously, because Jiminy died.
Murderers.
You're the one who murdered him.
I didn't murder him. You guys murdered him.
It's your airship.
How do you get up so high?
He was on someone's shoulder.
Fell off. Jesus. Well, I'm not too sure about you, but I have not had communicate with the scout, so perhaps our best bet is to wait until they reconvene here at this base camp to gather the information from them before we head out.
Okay.
I am
That's
inclined to
completely
agree.
reasonable.
Okay. Well, while we're doing that, let's go ahead and set rolls really fast. For-
Now,
Yeah, I was about to say, I think there's two that are in contention with each other but I think mainly we are all
What are you
set.
talking about? Lucy or whoever already named Alset as the artisan, so like...
Yeah, but
Erus is just trying to not cook. Is that what's going on here?
we don't.
No, I mean, Erus loves to cook, but like he just got automatically shafted out of the position. Someone who's not even a part of the group. So
Did Erus forget the Velklondike bars, or are they like behind your back? You're like, all right, guys, I'm
He's
gonna
just
cook
like-
for you. And they're like, all
he's
set
just like-
cooks. You're like, oh.
fuck. I left him in my other pants, and you see like flash to my room in
Booger Village.
in Poke Village, and there's just a pair of pants that has like melted ice cream coming out of the pockets.
Like the only other pair of pants that's completely ruined.
Milton gets home and sees it, and it's just like, oh no, not again.
I still love Milton's name.
Milton.
If only because of the new Suicide Squad movie.
I haven't watched the new one. Anyway.
It was
I've
okay.
not seen it yet.
It was okay. It
That's
wasn't.
great.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't like the most amazing thing ever, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Most recent movie I saw in theaters was Dune, and I need to see it again.
I need
Big
to watch
worm.
it on HBO, but anyway.
Big
I'd be looking while we're setting roles. I'd just be looking around the camp, making sure the scout isn't just laying
Dead.
somewhere asleep or dead. I didn't want to say dead, not manifesting.
Yeah, sleeping. Yes.
So
Definitely.
to be clear on this, so we're gonna do Iihane is the trailblazer, then Azrar is the scout, and does Erus or Allset want to be the artisan? You guys want to switch it up this time?
I don't mind.
I'm down for whatever. I'm pretty shite at it all.
That's what makes it fun, because you're both just as good at either one. So take your pick.
Alset has the inventions, Erus has the passion.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll cook this time.
All right, you're gonna cook.
Does Thunder Mane give a helping on
No.
passive perception? He's another set of eyes.
Of course not. He's just a dumb robot.
I mean,
Your
to be fair-
dog doesn't help you cook. Neither does your
What do you
Roomba.
think?
Honestly,
My
Alset
room
does
picks
also
up
have
ingredients.
I mean, to be fair,
a higher passive than I do, so
I mean, to be fair, technically, I have let the other group use his homunculus, so I guess which in the same case is the same as kind of like Thunderlane. So yeah, Thunderlane we can add Thunderlane to the passive, so it'd be a
Okay,
plus.
just
It'd be
use
it could be Thunderlane, and you give Thunderlane a plus to it, so it'd be a +4 to Thunderlane's passive.
okay, so 22.
Just so Thunderlane just like sees something, little alarm pops up out of the shoulder.
Exactly.
Yes.
Doing the Jimmy Neutron Goddard thing.
Oh man, that's exactly.
That makes him better than Azrar at passive.
Yeah, I just realized that he did have an 18 passive perception.
Oh, he has an 18 passive perception? Okay, that's still not quite as...
And then the
Good as
Yeah,
mine.
+4
like
from
20.
all set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's their teamwork that makes the dream work.
Yep.
That's
A man
super.
and his robot.
Yeah.
Imagine
Sorry, a
the
dragonborn
teamwork.
and his robot. Yeah.
Lone wolf.
So
Dragon, but
in this case, as you're looking around Iihane, everybody else kind of gathering things. As our spotter, Thunderlane, as soon as like rolls are set, Thunderlane starts like, looking around, and the alarm just pops out of his shoulder immediately. Just, and he starts walking over to the tent, pushes it to the side like a little opening for it, the door, and then like looks at you all expectantly.
Yeah.
Looks at you all expectantly.
I thought I would walk over behind him and look inside the tent.
Yeah, same.
Inside the tent, you find the guild scout lying in a pool of his own blood.
You fucking kidding me?
It's Whistle. He did it.
Well, time to frisk
Everything
him.
bad that happened to Penny Squabbles is Whistle's fault. He planned this out for.
It was already planned before he said it. I thank you.
he-
I made it up
That's a
like
really
I
good
made it up
habit
like
of-
I made it up like 2 hours ago.
I just have a real like common habit of like predicting something Aaron's gonna do like 20
It
minutes
makes it-
beforehand.
It's fun to do.
It makes it your fault then.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
You only have up to rank 2 meals, correct?
Correct.
We're level 10 now?
Yes,
Or
and
still
now you're level 10 now, which is
nine?
rank.
We get 3.
Oh, it is rank 3 at level. I thought it was rank 3 at 11.
Ooh.
Time to fight over his belongings like a bunch of vultures, like my neighbors were doing the other day.
Rank 3 meals at 10th level. So you do have rank 3 meals. I didn't even realize that. Let the other group know. No worries, take your time deciding on that. And yeah, you find a dead guild scout inside his tent.
You guys are doing that. I have like a very poorly written cookbook that I made, and I'm just.
I wonder what carbs a guild scout gives us.
None.
That's
Also,
awful.
the things you happen to notice, also as the spotter in this case first, so you're the one, first person to notice would be the tent itself is perfectly intact. There's no tears, no shreds. It's not like a beast like plowed through the tent to get to him. As you and it's just like as you just see him.
Okay, I see. Yeah, then I'll start. First, I'll drag him out, and then like start doing an itinerary and checking him over for
As a
signs of
bad-
murder or like whatever his death cause was.
Give
And
me
if there's any
a medicine
information
check.
Oh baby, that's bad.
17. So, the obvious one, which you would have determined even outside of a medicine check, is that he was killed by being something stabbed him through his back, directly where his heart was, and that's the only mark on his body. He's not in body armor because he doesn't sleep in it. This looks to have been happening when he was sleeping, is your best guess. It happened a few days ago. Based off of like rigor mortis and all that type of stuff. You don't know the exact date, but definitely it's been a couple days. The pool of blood is dried inside the tent on the sleeping bag, and yeah, just one strike. All it took.
I knew I should have went and got that diamond worth 500.
Based on the width of the whatever stabbed him. Your best guess with the 17 is something like a dual blade or like a short sword, like a sword and shield like setup.
Okay, so definitely murdered. Cool.
If there's any poison in the wound.
The 17, you do not see any poison.
No
Hey, Iihane, you wanna-
discolorations besides
Yeah.
the drawing of blood.
Speak
Correct.
with the dead? Huh?
You know, I fade that spell out all the time. I have such a.
I'll
Cut
walk
off,
over to the
cut
body.
off the guild scout's head.
Cut off? No, we don't use such primitive means. I walk over, one hand on the shoulder, other hand on top of the head.
I mean, technically, I don't
Predator.
think I need
Oh.
a head particularly, but
I'll shove the head in one of the like 8 bags of holding that I have.
Jesus Christ.
We could have just come back for it
yeah. I think-
after dealing with a Trioster in the area, but
If it's still here,
there is that.
If you have enough bags of holdings, we could have just put the whole body in it.
I've got a limited amount of space here. Trying to reserve space.
I can only hold
Altan-
3,000 pounds.
Altan did leave me
Come on.
with quite a plethora of quality sacks that he had acquired.
Looking
All
over
these-
at Alset, I say, I think we're going to need a couple just for bodies to speak to, I guess. If this is going to become a habit, so
we don't need bodies.
get bigger heads.
We just need heads.
Either way,
What are these muscles for, if not for tearing the heads off of bodies?
Digging the grave for the body.
That's menial labor. I don't do that anymore.
Because a
At least
paladin
wash
doesn't
your
care
hands
about
before
nobody.
you cook.
Yeah.
I'm not like that, that helpful oath or anything. Like we all know the oath that I'm gonna be taking. Come on.
Yeah, it's Oath of Redemption.
nature.
Ancient.
Hey,
Oh,
he could
Round.
follow me with Oath of Ancients. It'd be very similar to my nature clericness.
Oh man.
Erus, while Erus is akin to nature, he also has spent a large portion of his life actively destroying nature.
You're
Also,
lazy.
he has nothing to redeem. Erus believes that he has no redeeming qualities or nothing that could be redeemed. So,
There is no redemption.
yeah,
Okay, you're Oath Breaker.
No.
no
Can't break an oath that you didn't make.
Exactly.
oath of celibacy. Ah, shoot.
Broke the oath. Boom. Problem solved.
Eris is not an
Right.
incel confirmed.
He has a charisma of 16. Of course, he's not an incel. He actually knows how to talk to women. Come on.
Meanwhile, Iihane would put
Yeah, he calls them
-1.
foul demon spawn.
Hey. In Eros's defense, she used to have 8 legs, only had only
Two.
had 2 at that point. Fucking, he struggles to count. That seems like some demonic consultation that's happening there.
It seems like it's
Oh no,
actually
a
the
normal
other way
woman.
around.
Oh, no.
as someone who is quite literally demon spawn.
Could be a lot worse. At least you didn't go, oh no, a drow. It must be demonic.
Oh no, a normal ass dark elf.
Anyway,
Oh, what cheeks
we'll
hurt
have
now.
to go back to the head at another time when we can rest.
Yep.
Right.
Also took the spinal column because he's a predator.
So, for the hunt, we're back to normal rest rules. So, 1 long rest per 24 hours. Normal short rest if you're lucky enough to get them. Just standard stuff. We're not doing this. Isn't travel rules anymore. So we're back to normal rests. Just wanted to throw that out.
What does that do? So that might be gone.
But anything in the blue chest? It's been open, so I assume not.
It is empty. Whatever would have been in there has been taken. As you are looking around, though you guys have been kind of tramping along the area a little bit here and there, you do all set, or at least Thunderlane points out, which in your case that means you do, notices some very deep and like heavy footprints, metal, like gauntlets, something like that, in the ground, leading in a northern direction. They are old. They're not recent, but you could
And not akin to what the scout would wear.
correct. Scouts typically are not wearing a heavier metal, which is kind of what this like gauntlet like footprint looks like.
Yeah. I do not know if they're still here, but whoever murdered our scout could possibly still be in the area alongside what happened, or what could happen with the Teostra.
It might be worthwhile to kind of head in the same direction, looking for the Teostra, but also looking for them.
There are
Because if we can find a murderer of the guild, remember, it'd be worthwhile, almost as important, I'd say.
There are two sets of tracks.
That's actually where my mind went to.
Did Patton Oswald?
Oh, Patton. Patton, the
there's two
silent Barry,
tracks.
the chop.
All right.
Is yeah, Patton the Chopper.
Looking at my cookbook here,
Got
got a couple options.
It's got human in here.
Toe soup. So, we could either go with a good old horseshoe crab. Get that movement speed increase. Thinking potentially the life jam, where once we can make a saving throw with advantage, or I was thinking potentially the scented celery, allowing one of you to be able to cast Earthbind.
Once within the next 8 hours. Yep. And you do not have to concentrate on the spell.
Nope. And it is a DC 15 or whatever your spell save DC is.
Whichever's higher.
It is a strength saving throw. We are fighting an Elder Dragon. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, but I have a DC 17. I don't know about all set.
Yeah.
My grip on magical concerns is a little less than yours.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking, it's got wings. It's probably gonna try and fly a lot. I can't do a whole lot about anything that flies.
And here I am removing the fly capabilities from what I had prepared beforehand.
Yeah. So getting it to where it's on the ground for me, and I think Azrar. Wait, no, Azrar, you have a fucking bow. Jackass.
Yeah, but my swords are way, way, way better.
Right. You still
That
have
might not
something
be a
you can
bad
do if it's in
idea.
the air. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Just if we want to get an edge up on it, I don't think an extra 10 feet of movement is gonna be that impactful.
It would definitely be between the celery or the jam.
Yeah, but I think having advantage on a single saving throw, I don't know how much that's going to impact, probably with how many saving throws we're going to be making. I don't know.
That's fair.
How much of a difference that's going to make having advantage on one.
I've noticed mild herbs help, but they aren't amazing. So it's the same idea.
Yeah.
I'm game for either. What about you two? The
In
celery
terms
for
of
Earthbind or Life Jam for all of us to have advantage once on a saving throw.
In terms of the tactical applications, I do believe that the celery will provide a better advantage.
Here's the next question. Because it's only within 8 hours of eating the meal.
You can always take a short rest and cook again, potentially, too.
Right. Yeah. This is what I'm thinking. Do we want to go with something else, like the movement speed, just for getting there?
If we do,
and then when we get there, take a short rest real quick, have another meal, so that we have that right outside, because to me, it seems like we're not going to be able to get this thing out of its lair at this point. So
yeah, seeing how we aren't even sure how large the layer is.
It could be this. I mean, this entire area could be considered its lair for all we know.
Any notes on the scout to that point?
His notebook would be missing as you look for it. It is not there.
Convenient.
So.
Well, in that case, one that I would actually think on too. Well, no, I guess magical effects might cause any difficult terrain if it's layer. So that wouldn't help. Then yeah, we could always just do the saving throw life jam and then hopefully eat to get the scented celery.
Yeah. All right, let's do that. I shall make some life jam.
Okay.
Jam.
So I will pull out some previously procured well, I guess first we will little time warpy business back to town of purchasing some food supplies
Mm-hmm.
and using that good old charisma to get some nice quality supplies.
Okay. So go ahead and use a charisma. Let's see if you're able to gather ingredients in town.
And it's just a check, correct?
Yeah, just straight charisma. You really didn't know where to go, it seems, and you got some. You think it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Cool, I hate it. Hold on a second.
We need to train him in cook's utensils.
I will then use my strength to lug the very large pressure cooker over to the fire, because we making jam, boys. Gotta get that shit pressurized, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead and make your check. Okay. So you definitely pressurize your jam. And so that is your. So what is your final step?
So final step, I'm gonna be, plating it. I'm just gonna reach my hand in the pressure cooker, use my constitution to resist the pain of the heat, as I plate this nice jam on some toast.
Damn.
Sure. Go for it. Math.
That 5 really bringing down the average.
Now I want
Okay.
jam on toast.
I was wondering if he was gonna put it on toast or not. I already got the math done. So
Okay.
Nah, just a scoop of jam in a bowl for you guys.
it's exactly it's like ice cream but jam. As Erus
go.
presents you all with a bowl of jam.
Jam.
Toast on the side.
Yes, with toast on the side, so you can put as much jam as you wish to on your toast. It's got a nice fragrant smell to it. Even with a little bit of ashiness that's in the air. And you take your first bite.
It has flavor.
It's got some good flavor to it. It's pretty tasty, as you literally just succeed on the check.
I was about to say, didn't he get like perfectly 14?
Yeah, he got perfectly 14. That is correct.
Woo!
So with the life jam, yep, you all can have advantage on one saving throw when you make it. So you have to do it before you roll.
I'm so
Something.
good.
It's the only thing to it.
The jam also reminded me of another thing. You ever go to like a restaurant or wherever, like Denny's, that serves breakfast, and they have the little like jam packets? You ever just like take those and like eat them?
Nope, because I
step
hate
on 'em all
jelly
the
and
time.
jam.
That's fair.
I hate
I
it.
step on
love
'em all the
jelly
time.
and jam, so I just take those if I can.
Because you'd be surprised at how often those land on the floor and you just don't know where they are, and then all of a sudden you hear a loud pop. But yeah, now that we have our nice jam in our stomachs, I think we should head north. I'd like to state that when we get here, I probably have the necklace on today, Aaron.
Okay.
Just going into this, just in case that matters.
Makes sense to me. Okay.
But yeah, I vote for north to follow the footprints. You guys okay with that?
I I am okay with this, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You begin your journey. If my trailblazer would please give me the first survival roll of the hunt.
Ooh, Psycho Serum.
I didn't drink it.
Next
Yeah, that's why
one.
I'm saying, ooh, baby.
Oh, baby,
Okay.
a triple.
Can
So-
still always drink it after this one, though.
Mhm.
As you make your way to the next area, I need Azrar to please make me his stealth and perception.
Look at him actually rolling decent. He got a 9 there.
Barely made it. So Azrar, as you leave the camp following the footprints, kind of using them as your guides, you kind of traverse just this wide open space that is the volcano. You enter into a large space between just mountains on all sides. So you're in like a small enclosed valley almost. With a large rock about 10 or so feet tall in the center, about 10 to 15 or so feet wide. Following tracks, there's not much to see, though there is kind of a loud rumble off in the distance, and that's really about all that happens as you just enter into the area. There's no
I'm hungry.
no worries. There's no creatures currently here. And actually, honestly, I could use to grab a drink. We'll finish this area and then we'll
I was
grab a
making a
drink.
joke to the rumbling. That was a joke.
I thought you were actually just like hungry. You were like bending down to get food or something like that, like little mini
Oh.
fridge or something.
No, I do need more coffee though. So
Blech. So once we finish there, we'll take a quick like 5-minute break and grab something to drink and come back. So yeah, Ezra, you don't see any creatures. It's fairly barren. Trees that are there are just sticks. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna do much. I'll probably wait for the rest of the party for this one because it doesn't seem very interesting or eventful.
Okay. All right. So as he sits there about a minute later, the rest of the group, you all arrive in the same area as Azrar, seeing the same things. It's fairly barren. Just a couple trees that are there are just sticks more than anything, black and charred. Above your head is just dark cloud of ash. And another rumble. Really about it. What do you guys do?
Do the rumbles seem to come from a direction or just in general around us?
Give me a perception check. Let's see if you can determine.
Boom. Nope.
You're not entirely sure. I mean, there's a lot of different ways sound can travel, and like the vibrations may travel a little bit. Especially since it's underground, you're not really able to exactly determine where. So, what do you guys do? Or
Or please.
yeah,
Yes.
just throwing it
Yes,
out there.
please.
It's a really good
Please.
look at them on hunts.
I would look like at the ground. Do I still see the heavy set footprints?
Yes, they are still in here. Yeah, I mean, there's some ash on the ground a little bit here, but they're still fairly visible.
Well, yeah, I figured at least the heavy indented ones would be, because
Yep.
those would be hard to fill back in only a few days.
yeah,
And I'm
you're-
assuming they go north still.
And then Erus, you said you wanted to look for.
dear God, please.
Do you want to look for ore? Or do you want someone else to look for ore?
I will assist somebody in looking for ore.
You want to assist my boy Thunderlane?
Yes.
Okay.
Why is he very good at?
Yes.
26. Yeah, I mean,
Ore
that,
detection module activated.
it is an investigation check, though.
Ah, my bad. Then
I'm
I will
really
do
bad at it.
instead.
I can't assist.
I will do it instead.
14 is a success, though. It's not necessarily that difficult to find the ore, as much as it may be to find it. Volcano level 10 area. Okay, I got it here. If you, Erus, would wish to.
Yeah. Let me just stretch real quick.
Yep.
Athletics, right?
It is.
I don't have advantage. Fuck.
11. Sadly, the ore that all set points out as you strike at it ends up chipping off just a tiny little bit, and there's nothing else behind.
I hate it. Cat, why?
I will also throw out that I actually double checked the DC on it, and it's technically a fail, but I was going to let it happen this time anyways. It's a 16 you have to succeed on to find stuff in this area.
Ooh. Oof.
Volcano. Rough.
Yeah. Fair.
Actually, I gotta even, go ahead, honey. What are you doing?
Other than that, other than preparing to go to the next area, I would look for herbs in this area.
Okay, can definitely try. Same thing, investigation, you gotta beat a 16.
No.
So yeah, you look around, I mean, you find a couple
It's all
that are
burnt
just
up.
burnt and charred, yeah, and there's another rumble. Azrar, are you doing anything?
Let's see. No, I don't think so. I don't really have many tools on me that
Okay.
would be of much use for this.
Okay. So as Azrar chooses to do nothing, we kind of flash back as Erus this is the point where you're like smashing your pickaxe on the rock, and as you do, that rumble gets louder and you hear a loud explosion off in the distance. And as you all look up, large boulders are coming your way.
Oh fuck.
Ooh, pyroclasm.
Yeah. I need each of you to please make me a dexterity saving throw to avoid these falling rocks.
I have
could
an
easily
advantage,
do
don't
that.
I?
Yeah, danger sense would work, yes.
Woo! Dexterity saving throw.
I am debating whether or not I want to use that advantage already. Nope, YOLO.
They're not on fire, they're just rocks.
I'm going to do the
Nope.
thing that the one deformed orc in Return of the King does, where the fucking rock gets launched at him and he just steps right to the side as soon as it hits the ground. Like a fucking badass.
So, let's take a look here. Azrar, you succeed and step out of the way. Erus, you also succeed and take half damage. It like crushes, it like skims the side of your leg. Iihane, it basically you get just pummeled by this. You look up, the sun's blinding you in the eyes, so you like tilt with your side and just like smashes you in the side of the face. All said same thing. You're just in that horrible like just position where the sunlight just blinds you as you're trying to look for it. Thunderlanes avoids it mostly as well. Just a couple dings on him as those who take damage take 4 points. I rolled really bad. 4 points of bludgeoning damage if you failed. If you succeeded, you take half as much. You take 2.
Nice.
I feel much better about that. That boulders coming from the sky. I'm glad I didn't use the advantage.
Oh man, could have been up to fucking 20 damage. It did 4.
I know. I feel good about
Disappointing.
that.
Rocks while no one dies.
Yeah, I was gonna make that joke too. Yeah, rocks fall on your head. What do you do? No, you died. So
Yeah, no. Moving on.
yep, moving
quickly,
on, kind of
we don't-
slowly, like winding your way through these large boulders that are now in this valley. You make it to the next area where we're gonna take a quick break and grab a drink. 5 minutes, so back at 4:41, and then we will continue. We'll add an extra 5 minutes to the end of the game. Be right back.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Back.
I am.
So we're gonna die.
I mean,
But I'm going to give that Teostra a disease.
So unrelated, but because I'm planning to do a bunch of Dragon Age like demons and stuff, I am like I want to add a thing to each of the demons, like specifically related to like the emotion that they represent. So like the despair demon can inflict despair on people, but I have no fucking idea how to do that as like a mechanic. So I'm gonna be asking around for ideas for that. Rage is real easy, as is fear.
You said what?
Unmute.
Emotion?
so despair.
Yeah, like
Despair.
despair is the one that I am having the most issues with because like fear is easy because just like it has a variety of ways to inflict the frightened condition.
Right.
Rage easy, you just replicate like reckless attack and like make
Maybe
characters attack nearby allies and stuff.
maybe make a feel a frightened presence of sorts, but instead it takes away your will to fight, so you have disadvantage of attacks.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd
I was
say
looking
that
at
better have it.
Shadowfell stuff for ideas too.
You could do it to where, it's kind of like, oh god, what am I thinking of? Like, yeah, they lose the will to fight, but like they're incapacitated in a way, like not actually being incapacitated, but like they could just like drop their weapon and like not go prone, but like drop to their knees and like kind of go into like a fetal position and just like have it to where their next turn they can't do anything, kind of like a stun or a uh
Or the incapacitated condition.
yeah, a lot like that, but not actually giving it that condition, because that then gives a lot of stuff towards like doing more damage. I think like giving things advantage against them because they're not defending themselves.
I don't
But
know. I think incapacitated is
It's just
like
no
you
actions,
can't
no
act.
reaction. You can still
okay, yeah,
move though.
something like that to where they can't act and they're essentially harmless for a turn.
It just incapacitated. Just you can't take actions or reactions.
Yeah, okay. So I would probably make it so it's like they're incapacitated and their speed is reduced to 0.
I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't either. I'm just,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
gonna
talking
sit
about
on it.
like
But make it a bigger Bane. Make it Bane, but bigger.
Or else.
Yeah, they
God.
could just have to subtract a D12 from every
It's
roll they
over,
make.
Batman. My strength is at a +7.
I could cripple your back doubly. Also, Aaron is back, but he's been muted the entire time since he came back.
What an
I have been
absolute
back
failure.
for
Yeah, I know. I know
won't-
you've been back.
Psh, I do what I want. I didn't realize. I muted myself on my normal microphone as well, so the stream's been able to hear me this entire conversation. You guys just haven't been able to. That's not my fault.
I mean, it kind of sounds like your fault, but
No, it's not my fault. I take no blame in anything.
Sounds like every DM I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
You're welcome. I've taught them all well.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna use a Maizutsune to kill my players later. Well, 2 of them have vulnerability to cold for 24 hours.
Why?
They broke a statue of Oriel.
Ah, yeah.
She was upset.
Breaking
So she
shrines is a
cursed.
bad thing.
Yeah, so she cursed them. And now for 24 hours, the barbarian that's never felt cold and the warlock that broke the statue are both cursed for vulnerability to cold.
Let's say Erus got to feel cold once.
Yeah.
No, he resisted cold though, and now he has vulnerability.
Yeah.
Oh no, because he touched the cursed item, and
Yeah,
he
that
was
was not
also
fun.
resistant before, and then
yeah,
So-
that was not a fun time.
I loved it. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
great. So let's go ahead and get back into
Yep.
this, as I just realized the stream can't see where you're at. So, following the footprints following the kind of the only direction, unless you felt like going up mountainsides at this point, you head north to the end of this area. As yeah, Iihane, I needed your survival. Looks like you just did.
I am going to toggle my advantage because I'm drinking that Psycho Serum at the next time.
Okay.
I forgot that again, so I need to remember that.
Good for me. Okay. So then I need Azrar's stealth and perception.
Perception not as good this time. I don't see everything.
Azrar, as you move into the next area, you follow the footprints. Once again, they're slowly at this point, not fading into ash, but the ground is getting harder. So the only reason you can follow them is because there's ash on the ground, which keeps them very thin. And at a couple points, you almost lose them, following these directions. As you come into a next open area, between these mountainside, these volcanoes, and as you see up ahead, Ten Gajalaka.
Oh no, not these fuckers.
Sitting at kind of the middle section here, cross, blocking the way. They have not seemed to have noticed you yet as you're kind of like up against the mountainside, like peering across out. I'll get their tokens out for you here in a second.
Well, I don't want to instigate a fight because who knows if we'll still be doing that by the time the session's over, and I don't want to end us in the middle of combat.
We got 40. We got like at least, yeah, we got like 40 minutes still. We started a little late.
Well, you said we were gonna go like an extra 5 minutes.
Well, we were also we started
that.
like 20 minutes late because we were just shit. We were talking shit for 20 minutes.
Fair.
It's time for one combat.
Now the fun part. You cannot make out with how far away you are what their masks are. What color?
Well, I'm going to activate my Shocking Maw trinket, so I have resistance to poison and lightning damage.
Okay.
So I no longer have advantage on initiative rolls.
Okay.
But I need to toggle that off, I think. I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, initiative style, normal. There we go. Alright. Well...
Azrar, just as a quick question, do you have any Felvine on you? For no reason?
Let's see. Nope, I don't think so. I've never been one to collect Felvine.
Okay, sorry for all the beeps that the stream just had to hear from me trying to Google. And that goes for everybody else on that one. I was doing a Control F through his character sheet. Anybody have Felvine?
I don't think I do.
Which one? Sure, I know. I think the other group had some.
I think you asked this.
What does Felvine even do, anyways?
It's catnip for feline.
Yeah, I knew that much, but I wasn't sure if, like...
They do everything they can to get it.
It has no other...
Well, these guys aren't felines. They're little red dudes.
They still count as Linean.
So it's for cats and little red goblin guys.
Back to it. You see them. They do not see you as the rest of the group is coming up behind you. Not stealthily whatsoever because you haven't warned them yet.
Ching, ching, ching.
You hear Azrar waving towards you guys. Or you see him waving. You don't hear him waving.
Like,
hey, what's up?
I'm gesturing to, like, crouch down, like, nice fucking quiet.
Oh, you want me to roll stealth? This could turn out worse than me passively walking up there. But it's what you want, so stealth.
Perfection.
I don't think it would have mattered much anyways.
I mean, it's a group stealth at this point, so it just relies on everybody else as well. Perfect.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Oh, stealth. I'm also not
you
good
mean-
at this.
I was about
Holy
to say,
fuck.
2 of us are not good at it with disadvantage.
I'm proud of you all.
Hey, look at that.
Erus and I might save it.
Oh, we're not saving it. No.
No,
Damn.
Yeah, it's not getting saved.
like that's a 5. That's a 5.
We're just making
that's
it
a
less
3.
bad.
So that's a 13 between 3 of us.
I'm impressed. So good. So
34 for 4.
as they come, like, quiet down, and you just hear, you coming around the corner. We hear you. As this is like all like they're you guys really you don't really feel like it's you that they hear.
Yeah, I'm just gonna melt into the rock. I'm gonna be invisible.
Does anyone want to take the lead on this, or
I look at Erus. You're the charismatic
They don't
one.
know what. I'll stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
greetings?
Can I help you?
Yeah. Give us something.
What do you want?
What do you got? You
Well,
give us
that
something,
Depends what you want.
we let you go by. You don't give us something, you don't go by.
While they're
I'll just-
doing this,
Just look at him. I'm going to pick up a rock and I'm gonna go. You know, that sounds like a threat, and
This-
I really hope you're not threatening me.
This isn't a threat. This is a transaction.
I'm going to. Is there like any plants or wildlife that are like not them around?
I mean, there's a
Like
lot.
any-
There's lots of rocks. So there's probably like a dead tree near them.
Cool. I'm just gonna throw the rock as hard as I can at the dead tree.
while he's doing this, can I combine a raw meat and a toadstool?
You can make the attempt. Since it's kind of fashioned in a quick hurry, I'm gonna have you do it at disadvantage though.
Okay. What check do you need me to make?
Typically it would be cooking utensils with, intelligence or wisdom. I'd allow dexterity for like finally like cutting into the meat to put it in there and cut it up as fast as possible. You could just do
Okay.
if you don't have cooking utensils, proficiency, just a straight dex check.
Yeah, straight dex.
Yeah,
Ooh, not good.
I'm throwing the rock to try and like get a hole in the tree,
Right.
And insinuate that'll happen to them.
Right. Okay. So go ahead and make your strength check or an attack roll. You're not proficient, so I guess it would be just a straight strength check for you as well, Erus. In this case, it's an improvised weapon.
Yep.
14. Definitely hit a tree with the 14. Go ahead and roll. So your damage is 1 plus the rock's
My
damage,
strength.
which is 1 plus your
Okay.
strength.
My weapon is a D4, I think.
So 1 plus 1 plus my
Stones-
strength.
Stones are specifically 1 damage in this.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah, true.
So yeah, actually, it would be just 1 plus your strength in this case.
Yeah, so 5.
5. So yeah, 5. Just roll me an intimidation check with advantage
All right.
as you hit the tree.
Oh!
They kind of look at you. Look at the
The
tree.
hammer on my back isn't for show.
Look at you. Fine. Give us something. Just anything. Doesn't matter what. Just something. That was a deal we had to make so they didn't die before. Come on.
I look at them and I'm like, and I pull out one of my 4 antidotes and offer it to them.
Deal. You can go by.
I'll pull out a conga pelt as well. I'm like,
Deal.
this looks like it suits you.
They all start like a couple of them start like fighting over it.
I'll produce a sushi fish and be like, "What do you mean? This was a deal that you had made to not die?"
There's 2 metal dudes came by like a couple days ago and said we'd stop anybody who came.
I see. And
Slow you down.
interesting. Now, we are individuals who would like to stop these two metal dudes, as you say.
And they did threaten your lives. Do you know which way they went?
Yeah?
Because we can hurt them for you guys.
I don't know. I just did a rock, but that ain't that impressive. You have no idea what they did.
Yes, but we
What did they do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out the head out of the bag of holding. I'll just hold it and go.
The priestess head or the scout's head?
It doesn't really matter. I ripped this off of a body with my bare hands. I can do so much worse if I wanted to. And I'll put it back and just... The people that threatened you and passed by here do not care about your safety or anybody else's. We are trying to stop them from making a much, much worse thing from happening. I'm not saying you have to help us. I'm just saying I would appreciate it if, you pointed us in the right direction, and if they passed by again at some point, that you would impede them in some way. Because I'm gonna be honest, whatever they were able to do, I alone could do to you tenfold. And there's 4 of us here.
Yeah, they don't know about me. I'm just discreetly
Yeah, 4 of
climbing.
us with the inclusion of my very precious Thunderlane.
Looks at you, sizes the 4 of you up, counting Thunderlane, not Azrar. Give me a persuasion check. Erus, with advantage once again.
Persuasion.
10.
19.
19, that's right. They go. A, B. Fine. And they start speaking in a language you don't understand, like to each other. It's like a lot of clicks. And you see like some of them like throw their hands up in the air, some of them point at you and point at each other, back and forth a bit. And then one just like throws like the hands up in the air like it gives up. And they go, fine. He'll take you in their direction. And it's the points to the one at the far end of the row.
Thank you.
But be warned, they're not going to a place safe.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, neither were we, so.
They're hunting the red thing.
Hey, so
Oh.
are we.
So are we.
Fuck me.
Also, more importantly, we gotta do this roll. Roll. Where the fuck is... I can't re-roll their things for some reason. Really re-roll their pictures. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. I don't know why you won't let me right now. Getting all set in there. Is that what's happening here? Step back, all set.
You and your damn horn.
Ah, there we go. Random colors.
That's really cool.
Oh.
That way, it's an easy way to determine which ones have like different effects. It's just have a random chance on each one.
It looks like none of them are poison.
Rats.
You get. It's at the end. Which end do we get? Blue, or are we giving you a yellow?
Yeah, you never specified which far end.
We're gonna go with the blue one. The blue one will be an interesting one if it works. And it just kind of looks so. He says, but for fairness, so that way you don't get killed in case you die, I still need something from you. And so far, we've gotten something from Iihane and from Erus, but nothing from Thunderlane nor Allstead, I believe.
Thunderlane doesn't have a whole lot to give.
All right, sushi fish. So yeah, you, as they point to Thunderlane. They aren't the
Thunderlane
smartest.
Is my auto is mine, so I will pay for it as well.
Acceptable.
And I will produce a, I suppose, I will give
Here's some over here.
9 of them left.
You only have to give one more person one thing. Just want
I
one
know.
thing from each person.
I
Yeah, there's
give out 9 raw meat.
You see their little like beady eyes and their masks light up. Thank
They
you.
suddenly become not so beady.
Yeah. You go wide. They each one takes one, and they like each just like kind of covet it. And you watch a couple of them like run over to rocks and like set them on the rocks and watch them start to cook.
Hey, I
Impatient
can't
little
fault them.
fuckers.
That's clever.
This one start eating theirs raw. You can go. So, and
I'm not allowed
where the
on
fuck did you
map.
guys just?
I'm
Where
off
the
the
fuck
map.
did you guys just go?
They went up. I haven't been able
Where
to move
up?
because I'm off the map.
Oh,
They're
Boop.
straight up by the rock.
it vanished from my screen. I don't see him at all.
He-
Oh,
he's-
it's funny. There you go. Now it's back. Like it vanished off my DM one. It was funny.
Yeah, Foundry does that from time to time too. I've noticed.
So you make it past the Gajalaka wall, and the one that's with you goes, they went this way. Starts walking this direction.
We follow. Do you want a trailblazer still?
Yeah, it's still he's leaning in the direction. It's been a couple days still. He just knows where they're at.
Okay, so I am.
I guess actually he goes,
Like
they didn't go this way, but this is where they were gonna be going.
okay.
So maybe we'll get there before they do.
I mean, it's been a couple days, but we could. Survival check for you.
By the
Then.
way, has anybody who hasn't taken has everybody taken a cold drink that needs to take one?
I can.
'Cause you
I
were
had
taking one to
Oh,
start.
I'll chug.
Yep.
Chug
I
a
was
lug.
just waiting for you to tell us, like I had them. So.
Yep. It would have been after you guys left the camp. Okay, 28.
Time to delete that from my fucking character sheet.
Yeah, I don't delete them. I just put 0 there because I'm going to buy more. So I
Yeah,
like to
fair.
have slots for them.
As you go in this direction,
Direction.
So- the area the Gajalaka brings you to, it's heavily obscured by ash. As you enter into it, Azrar, it is will you give me your stealth of perception, please?
Yeah. Also, I just remembered my learning Wyverian thing, so I lowered that down 2 days.
Oh, okay.
33 and 22.
Ooh, nice. So it is very difficult to see in here, so that is going to reduce your check by an amount due to that. Though it is definitely enhancing your stealth, that's for sure as well.
Is it difficult to see because of darkness or because of like
Ash.
steam or whatever?
Actual like
Okay.
ash, yeah. Ash is floating down. It's very heavy in this area. That's what I was rolling for. I'm like, why did I roll something? I can't remember why I rolled. Now I do. Figure out how long this ash sticks around. Okay. So the area you enter into is ash covered. There are bright like hints of light in spots ahead, though you aren't able to really tell what's going on until you eventually come to the spot you're at now after about a half hour or so. And there's bright cracks here and there through the ash that you can see, but not much else.
As I meld out of the darkness, because the Gajalaka totally didn't know I was there, I'm just gonna pull a honeycomb out of my bag and I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder, put it on the ground, and then move around behind him before he turns around.
Yeah, it's and he like swings with his knife.
And then he just
It's
sees the honey
nothing.
on the ground.
And just, yeah, he picks it up. looks at the rest of you guys and puts it in his his little pouch.
And then turns back around and I'm standing in front of him.
Wah! And he looks. Was that you?
Yep.
You can pass.
Trust me, I passed a while ago.
You enter into this area. You hear the bubbles of lava off in the distance a little bit. You can kind of see the slightly bright light you assume from magma on the ground somewhere ahead. But you can see about 10 feet ahead of you. That's really all you can see before ash. The rest of the group arrives. What do you guys do?
Does anyone have a way to, blow some wind through here?
Maybe not the way you're thinking.
And then Erus just Boostro Dawes.
I do, but I don't want to use it because it's a 3rd level spell, so I don't.
It's a gust of wind.
Yeah, I only have wind wall.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be super helpful. Well, it will, but it's really expensive to do.
God, gust of wind, if I remember correctly, is first. Okay, it's second. And yeah, cleric doesn't get it anyways. It's druid, sorcerer, or wizard, or tempest domain.
Yeah, I'm not Tempest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we have a good way.
Okay.
There's also just gust, which I think is a cantrip.
Is a cantrip. A wizard has.
Yeah.
In a different group.
Yeah. Only druid, sorcerer, or wizard get gust. Well,
Mm-hmm.
If I die, I'm coming back as a sorcerer. That or a monk. One of the two.
When you die, gotcha.
I expect to die always. When I don't, I'm happy.
when you die and have to pay Aaron for another character portrait.
You're not paying me at that point.
No, I'd have to buy
Well,
it
yeah.
myself, but yeah, no, so we barely see, right?
You can barely see.
Only 10 feet.
Yep. You can see brighter ash in the distance, which you're taking as a clue of some kind of light. It's probably generated by magma. It is quite hot in here, even with the cool drink, though not extremely hot due to it or thanks to it.
I
You
look
hear
at
the sound of
Gadzalaka.
magma bubbling.
I look at our Gadzalaka friend and can you lead us through all this soot to where they went?
I can't see through this any more than you can. I don't want to be in the front. I will tell you the direction to go, though.
I will go ahead of you then. If you can even ride on my spider back, if that would put you more at ease.
Deal. Just climbing up
There's plenty of little handholds and grabs, shifting this armor. And
It's that way.
Just get a baby carrier for this.
Make a web papoose.
quickly rub it. Yeah.
That way.
So he points in this direction.
I will start going 10 feet at a time, just heading the direction that he told me to.
I assume everybody's kind of following close to each other in this case.
Within vision.
You probably won't be able to see each other entirely, but you can at least follow the next person in line.
Yeah.
Or how are you doing? I guess is the question in this case.
I give a little string of my web so everybody can grip it in a line so we don't lose each other.
Okay. So
What my daycare used to do when I was little.
The spider web, huh?
Yeah.
You know, Yeah.
Lulf's daycare.
No, there'd be no daycare. Like,
Yes.
get left. Like,
That's what it is.
if you die, you deserve to. Weak gets abandoned.
Weak
Baby
babies.
fends for itself.
Exactly. You're given a knife, and that's how you survive. Like, come on.
You get some jacked drow babies.
So you travel in this direction, and it's much
Yeah.
a longer distance than what we're seeing on the map. As Gajlaka keeps pointing you, like, this is the way you go. Keep going forward. We're gonna make it. It's a long trip, though.
He's just staying in the back.
No, he's on top of her back.
Yeah, I know. His token just isn't
Yeah, I
moving.
moved it. Well, I mean, Erus hasn't moved at all either. Erus is
no, we
know.
Erus is lost forever. The webbing breaks.
Erus is debating. Should I see if the magma makes a good hot tub? I know it doesn't, but should I?
So as
He's
you
not debating that.
so as you make your way about halfway across this area, which really you're traveling for about an hour across, just slowly through the soot and ash, carefully and cautiously. And then there's a brief and fast rumble below all of you as magma breaks and bursts up through the ground in a 120-foot line, lighting up the area temporarily, kind of separating the ash for a time. I need each one of you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Because technically he's mounted, and I don't want him to get hurt. I'm going to use my advantage now.
Okay.
Hot lava, I'm using that advantage too.
I already have advantage, so. Well.
It's a good thing for that advantage.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
I still rolled the highest.
We need some dex, is what we need. Some
Guys.
That's
So-
with a cloak of protection. That's 13. I don't know what to give you else, man.
Like,
A 15, as you all besides Azrar fail.
Yeah, and I take no damage.
Oh yes, Azrar, you roll out of the way, vanishing into the soot. Everybody else, you take.
Roll.
It's a brief lava spurt, so it is fire damage. Only 5 fire damage. If you're resistant, you take half.
I want to give my reaction to give the Gadulaka resistance.
Okay, well let me have him do a dexterity save, 'cause I didn't have him do one. Yeah, okay, he did.
So I take 2 or 3?
You take 2. We round down.
Always
You're
round
really
down
rolling
for
bad
bad.
on these, aren't you, Aaron?
They're really bad. Like that's. I mean, I rolled like a 3 and a 4 the last time, then a 2 and a 3. Like, come on,
You had a 4 total last time, 5 total this time.
this game is rigged in the player's favor. It's bullshit.
No, we just know you can't roll stuff. You're treating these like saints, so you know you can't roll it.
Mhm. So, you, as you the lava resubsides and kind of spreads across and falls back into the cracks underneath the rock you were currently on.
My armor is like slightly glowing from the normal black. It's
Mhm.
like a little redness as it starts to cool back down.
Mm-hmm.
Got heat metal.
And you said you were using your reaction to protect him, correct?
Yes.
Which gives him
He got-
resistance.
Yep, resistance.
Okay.
And,
He looks severely burned.
yeah.
the Darth Vader of Gajalaka.
Yeah, part of his mask is
Uh,
burned and broken off now, and he's like using his hand to cover and hide his face.
I will walk over
Mhm.
and I will put 3 hit points of lay on hands into him.
Okay, he only lost 2, so you only need to put 2.
Okay, cool.
And I would recommend that all set eventually use mending to fix his mask.
yeah, because Gadulaka without a
That's-
mask are horrifying.
I mean,
Mending's
yeah.
a cantrip.
yeah, mending's a cantrip, but
It takes a minute.
Yeah.
That's the only downside.
it's a break or tear. If it's melted, I can't do shit about it.
I mean, it's kind of a break.
I would say it would work in the situation.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why it couldn't. As it's hiding its face, and you're casting many as it's refusing to move its hand out of the way. Like You at least convince him to pull it out a little bit, so that way it can actually start to form
Use with
upwards.
the mask.
Yeah. So,
Just imagine being stuck like this.
and he just kind of looks at you all. Thank you. It's this way.
Yes,
We move
let's
forward.
get out of this area as fast as we can.
Yep.
Trailblazer?
Yep.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. There's some good rolls.
Well, it helps that I drank my Psychosome.
That's fair.
Drugs.
Mm-mm-mm.
I mean, though...
It's all D&D has taught us
27,
is drugs are good.
Yeah, no.
Especially
That's all
Monster
you-
Hunter.
Yeah,
Monsters
I
have
was
some
about
great
to say,
drugs.
That's all Aaron's games has taught me. Like, I've seen Garethor. I've seen how the drugs go. Aaron in my game used drugs. He was happy to. Right.
Health and perception.
Yes. Okay. So Azrar, you walk ahead of the group as he kind of mentions, like, it's around this corner, and then we have to begin making our way north around this lava pool as he points to the pool to your right. The ash in the area as you're walking away begins to subside, Azrar, and you're getting a bit more of a view. It also becomes much brighter as you're kind of traveling around. About that minute or so ahead of the group, you come to an opening, and it looks to be the lava has overflowed this entire area in front of you, except for from right where it's at, and the exit you can see at the far, directly north of you.
Oh, lordy, lordy.
How deep it is, you don't know based off just looking at
I don't even want to try wading in that.
Oh, why not? You know, lava's not that bad.
it.
I mean, it's worse if you're bathing in it, but if it just touches you a little bit, it's not as terrible.
So, the rest of the group arrives. You see Azrar standing here in a spot where there is just lava to his west and north, and there's just another little spot. And this is inside of a cave, in this case. There's a spot to his north that seems to have another place leading to a different part of the cave. And that is what you all
It's
see.
a cave, you say?
It's a cave.
Well, then.
There is a
We
ceiling in
still
one.
have it.
I'm gonna start climbing across the ceiling.
I uncanny hide.
So you can climb.
Mhm.
Iihane can climb.
Yeah, but...
Azrar can climb. Thunderlane can't climb, and neither can Erus. I mean, Erus can climb, it'll just be really slow. And a bit more of a stressor on that one. There'll be some checks.
Not really people try to climb.
Yeah, with his definitely with his, hooves.
You've seen goats?
I have seen goats.
We could tie a bunch of ropes on Thunderlane and kind of, between a couple of us, carry him over.
He'll just be like hanging underneath, like when you fucking Fulton D-horsed in MGS5.
Yeah,
It's 70 feet. And that
Well,
depends on
I
how
am
deep
not
it
a-
is, too.
I'm decently strong, so I can definitely aid that. I have at least a +2 to that, so... Depending on how heavy Thunderlane is.
He's a
don't
full
know.
mechanical horse. He's heavy.
Big boy.
He's a full mechanical pony.
But he jumped.
Pony, my bad.
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a way for him to, like, be strapped onto my back, I might be able to get him across.
You can try to climb. It's fun.
You see 3PO him.
Start taking him apart in pieces. And just each person carry apart.
Just throwing pots. Oops, dropped
Only
some
he had a hover bike mode like Goddard.
Okay. So, Erus, your movement speed is what? 40 feet?
50.
50. So your climb speed is 25.
Cool.
So it is 3 turns to get across.
If he's carrying somebody, then
I mean-
wouldn't that be cut in half again? Or...
Well, so we're gonna go with the height of the. I'm gonna roll this height. Is right. So the height of it is 20 feet. So you have to climb up this back wall to the south of you, up 20 feet, and then 70 feet across. There's no, unless you wanted to crawl, you'd have to crawl. You're literally grabbing the top of the ceiling at this point to get across because there is no wall on this side directly.
Right.
Monkey bars.
So you could technically try climbing the wall all the way around from the left and up, and that's a really long climb.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot longer.
Versus trying to climb the ceiling and grabbing like stalactites and stuff like that, which they do exist up there. It's possible, I will say. Same for everybody else. You guys are all kind of climbing up there and just climbing across pretty easily since you have a climb speed. You don't need to make checks. Thunderlane will have to go the long way because he cannot grab the ceiling.
Yeah. I will so I will assist Thunderlane by tying a rope to myself and Thunderlane.
Okay.
And then kind of like acting as, like rock climbers where they have like the support at the bottom, but this time the support is at the top. Just kind of assisting with that, just in case if he does go down.
Okay, I will say, depending on how, if he fails to save fairly poorly, he's gonna end up hanging, and he is way too heavy for you to specifically hold yourself and him. So you may fall.
At which point it's like a quick release knot. And
Okay.
If I need to sacrifice him.
Okay.
Then that's what needs to be done.
Okay. Give me, in that case, tying him, going to give me a sleight of hand or a survival check for tying the knot.
Tie the knot?
Okay.
Nice.
Tied the knot. As far as you're aware, that is perfectly a good knot for an easy, quick release if need be, while also staying sturdy enough for him. So, Azrar, you're across. Gajalaka rides on Iihane and gets crossed. Erus,
Red man.
you need to make me 4 athletics check.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.
So you start climbing up the side. And you start grabbing these stalactites, like literally at some points punching into the ceiling to give yourself a handhold and slowly kind of monkey bars your way across in a way. As you get to the end, almost the other side of the wall, you go to reach for it and you grab a chunk of the rock and it breaks and falls. And you plummet 20 feet down onto solid rock. Taking more damage than anything else that happened from fall damage as 8 bludgeoning damage.
That's fine.
Now, let's see here for Thunderlane.
We're gonna have a bad time.
We're gonna go from this the crack here is the first spot. Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
dun. What is Thunderlane's movement normally? 40, so he will have 20 feet per turn.
This is gonna take a while.
20 feet per turn. We're going 260. 260 divided by 20. 13. So.
Man, those are really bad odds. Holy shit.
And completely unintentional. It was not planned. As I need Thunderlane to make me 13 athletics checks. I will give him advantage since you are assisting him.
Okay.
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yours will be easier than Erus, also because you're going along the side versus trying to climb across the top like Hain.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be a lower DC. Oh, a lot more. Go. 19, okay. So far, so good.
Second.
So far, so good.
3.
Good.
4.
So, on the 4th one, Thunderlane jumps onto one and mountain goat-like style steps on a spot and it breaks. He slips down towards the lava. Give me an athletics check from you, all set, to see if you're able to reposition him before he falls in.
Ooh, this is bad.
15. Give me just a straight strength check from Thunderlane.
That would be the same as
Okay.
athletics. Sorry, 3.
3. Okay, so you are able to reposition him as his feet just barely touch the lava, and melt a tiny bit of him. He takes 4 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And his foot is a little damaged, but still completely usable at the moment. All right, you get him back on, rebalanced. Let's go for number 5.
5.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
8.
All right. He hits another spot at 8. So that would put him at 160 feet. Find a spot.
Yeah.
I can't do it that way. So we go ahead and make me another athletics check to try to reposition him once again. $15. Okay. Same thing. Make another check with him as well. Just a straight strength one. 4.
It's better than the last one.
It is better than the last one. So currently Thunderlane's here along with you. You are able to once again reposition him in there, but he does barely touch the lava again. His hooves are starting to take some heavy damage, though he's still okay at the moment. But one more touch of that lava, he's going to start having to suffer disadvantage on it, which will cancel out your advantage.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
The next one. Okay. Success.
Ow, my metal hooves.
Success. Success. Okay. One more check. Here. So Thunderlane makes it with some damage.
Nothing I can't fix in. Give it a couple minutes.
You all make it across.
Yay!
And I think that is where we're going to end it, as you all successfully traverse an unknown depth of lava and get ready to head continuing on your hunt for these 2 metal men and wherever the Tiestra's at. Next time.
Nice.
Dragon Ball Z. All right. So for those watching, I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed our Group B's run of this hunt right now. I am interested to see how the rest of it goes and what's going to happen. Hopefully you are as well. I had a great time today. If you like what I am doing and you want to run your own kind of game, check out my Patreon, where my chatbot's not up and active right now, so you aren't going to get a link. Too bad. It's at patreon.com/Amellwind. It's hard to find, I know.
Same on GM Binder and all that.
And everything. Basically anywhere.
Lucky you did not comment.
The only time I've ever seen Amellwind anywhere else is in Dragon Age.
Everybody
That's it.
says Mike and Ike.
I mean, that's because Mike and Ike is easy, because it's literally a candy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's why I have that 009.
So either way, check out my the Patreon. You can go in the bio section, get the guide to monster hunting and the manual with all the monsters for free. If you become a patron, it is a bunch of extra bonus stuff and early access to things like the Excel-X that is currently being tested this month. So I want to thank you guys all again, and I will be back for our next game on the 28th is our next session. So we'll see you then.